Welcome. How you doing? I'm Dr. Anthony T. Ladson, and I just want to welcome you to this live stream conference that's going on live right now. They called me in just to speak from my heart, to give you a few tips on how to be successful in your life. But the first thing I want to do, I just want to thank George T. Frazier, who's doing this conference, this live conference now. Just want to thank him because through his innovation, through his honesty, through everything that he's doing just to empower our people to have a higher mindset of themselves, not only themselves, but of everybody that they're connected to, his networking. I just want to thank George C. Frazier right now for having that vision of doing this. And I also want to thank Shay and Trevor. Shay and Trevor, who is doing this live stream, has put everything together. They also had the vision to do a live stream so the whole world can tap into the greatness that's about to be released on this here platform. Because this platform is not just me. There's other speakers that are going to be here to give you information, to give you knowledge, to give you a revelation of the things that you can use to enhance your life. And not only enhance your life, enhance the lives of others around you. So that being said, I want to get started because I have some teaching that will change your life. Some teaching that's going to make you understand who you are and what you have residing on the inside of you. So let's get started. You might be saying, well, who are you, Dr. Anthony T. Ladson? I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm a teacher. I love to teach. I love to teach people their gifts that they have inside of them. And one thing that I want you to know, everyone has a gift, but everyone doesn't know how to utilize that gift that they have inside of them. The gift that you have is different than the gift somebody else has. But once you become aware of that gift that you have inside of yourself, that's when the fun begins. Because once you become aware of that gift that you have, now you have to work that gift. You have to work that gift so you can cultivate it. Because what greatness is a cultivated gift that you have mastered. I'm going to say it again. Your gift is your cultivated greatness. So I want you to write that down because a lot of things I'm going to be teaching you in this training or this talk that I'm giving right now, you should write this down. Because as you write things down, you'll retain it better than just listening to it. Some people can hear things and retain it. Some people can write things down and retain it. The best way to retain information is to write it down so you can go back later and look at it. Because there's always something that you might have missed in the beginning. There's always something that you say, well, I didn't see that before. So I want you to get a pen and paper so you can write down anything that catches your mind by saying, I didn't know that, or I knew that, but he explained it better. So get a pen and paper so you can write it down and retain it better. But I want to tell you a story and a little bit about myself. When I was young, I was about, 8 or 9 years old. I was watching TV one day, and what they were showing was a training about CPR, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And what happened, I didn't pay no mind. I didn't pay no attention to it. I feel, it's just a TV show. I didn't even want to watch it, but, I looked at it a little bit. But what I didn't know, 2 weeks later, when I came home from school, my father was laid out on the floor. Straight laid out on the floor, not moving. So I panicked and I ran into the house. I saw my father laying there. I called my mother and I told her to call 911. I don't know what's going on. And what happened, he had a massive heart attack. So I'm trying to figure out what I should do. What I should do. I'm young. I don't know what I should do. So I grabbed his head in my hand and I told him, don't leave. Don't die on me now. I just met you 2 years ago. Don't leave me now like this. So I tried to revive him. And then at that moment, I remembered the TV show. I'm trying to figure out what to do. Trying to remember what they was teaching on that show. Should I do chest compressions? Should I pinch his nose? What should I do first? I was struggling. I was trying to figure it out. My mind was wandering. And eventually, the paramedics came and took him away. And I was the last person he saw on this earth. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that moment when I saw a man I never met 2 years prior. I didn't even know he existed 2 years before that. And all I could just think about, go through my mind, if I just paid attention. If I just paid attention, maybe he would still be here. I'll never forget that. But what I want to present to you today is how to unlock your greatness. How to unlock your greatness. And the first step to unlocking your greatness is pay attention. You have to pay attention. Because, 40% of the school children don't graduate. Why they don't graduate? They don't pay attention in school. They feel that school is not for them. They feel school is just a waste of time. They feel that Beyonce and Jay-Z is more important than going to school. They feel watching the basketball game is more important than going to school. Even though the basketball game is on right now, this is what's important to me, to teach you. That's what I feel is important. But they feel it's not important. So they dropped out of school because they feel it's not important. They don't pay attention. They don't pay attention to the right things. And in the corporate world, the New York Times did a study a couple of years ago, and they say most employees go to work, and they're not there. They show up, but their mind is not there. They're there, but they are not there. And by doing that, they're not paying attention. And by not paying attention, the casualties and the accident rate in most corporations has gone up dramatically. The workman comp insurance rate going up constantly because a lot of people who are there, but their mind is not there, they're not paying attention. They're not paying attention because they feel that this is just a job. They go home, come back to work, go home, come back to work, and they're not making ends meet. They're not paying attention. So that's why the rates are going up so high. And this is so powerful because you see I have notes and I want to make sure I'm telling you everything that I had in my heart. I just want to remind myself because paying attention is so important. Paying attention is so important that even the little things in life you should pay attention to. To hear the songs of the hummingbird, pay attention to it. It's a sweet melody. Even just how the sun sets in the west, you're paying attention. When you pay attention, you can pinpoint the little things that most people overlook. If you pay attention, you can have anything in your life that you so desire. Let's take Floyd Mayweather, for instance, the world famous boxer. You know who Floyd Mayweather is. If you don't know who Floyd Mayweather is, I'm gonna tell you. He is one of the world's great boxers. He is one of the world's richest boxers with his mind set. And how did he get to become the greatest, one of the greatest? He paid attention. He unleashed his greatness. He unleashed his greatness by paying attention to doing what he loved. By doing what he loved, he unleashed his greatness by boxing. And by boxing, he paid attention. He trained constantly. Every time he have a fight, he trains. And when he trains by paying attention. He knows he got to do 1,000 sit-ups when he wake up in the morning. He knows he has to do 1,000 sit-ups when he go to sleep at night. He knows he has to walk or run 10 miles a day. He has to pay attention to do these little things throughout the day. and throughout his training session. So when he gets in that ring and he starts boxing, everything comes natural. His greatness shows. And he has to realize, and he knows this because he's proven it so many times, that to unleash your greatness, you have to pay attention. And every time he goes into the ring, he pays attention, not just what he has done, but what his opponent has done also. Every time his opponent throws a punch, he pays attention. He pays attention on how he throws a punch. And when he throws a punch, he knows that there's always an opening that the opponent leaves. So he understands that if he pays attention to what the opponent is doing, he has the ability to hit the opponent, but knock him out. That's why paying attention is so important. It's so important. Jose Ortega, a spiritual teacher, a philosopher, a Spanish philosopher, said, "Tell me what you pay attention to the most, and I will tell you who you are." Tell me what you pay attention to the most, and I will tell you who you are. That's a powerful statement. What are you paying attention to the most? What has your attention throughout the day? What has your attention that is causing you to fail in one area or another in your life? You have to think about that. You have to think about it, because what you're paying attention to tells the world who you are and what you will become. Because the more you pay attention to it, the more you give energy into it, it's going to bring that energy back to you. Because whatever a man sows, that's what he will reap. That's what my favorite book tells me. And as you understand, there's a couple of steps that you need to unleash your greatness. And the first step is paying attention. But this is what I want you to do. When you pay attention, you have to pay attention to the things that will increase your success. Because we all want to be successful. We all want to have things in our life that we can say, well, we're successful at it. We have a successful marriage. We have a successful business. We have a successful family. Excuse me. And we all want to be successful. But what you have to do, the first step is pay attention. And one thing you have to do when you pay attention, you have to pay attention to those things that will make you successful. What is going to make you successful? Reading books. Read a book, because there are so many things that you can do throughout the day or throughout your month or year. But read a book. If you read one book, that knowledge that you haven't even heard of before. If you read one book, the average American in the world, or the average person in America, reads one book a year. See, I read a lot of books. I read more than one book a year. Matter of fact, last month I read 3 books. I constantly feed my mind with information. I read books, magazines, because I want to be successful. I want to be successful. And the only way to be successful is one way: read a lot of books, take courses, take classes. There are things that you haven't even dreamed of that's out there waiting for you to become aware of it. And one way to become aware of those things is reading. Read a book. When you read a book, you expand your mind. Once you expand your mind cannot go back to the place it was before. Once you learn something new, it's already in there. Once you retain it, it stays in there. You might not even know that you retained it. You might even forget about it. But it's always in there. It's always lying dormant until you activate it. And it becomes to the surface. It comes to the surface and you act on it, and you can become what you think of. And here's a quote. Here's a quote that I had to write down because it's so powerful. Ronald Reagan said, "Our whole system of government is based on we the people." Our whole system of government is based on we the people. But if we the people don't pay attention to what is going on, we have no right to complain when things go wrong. That's powerful. And I not only take that for the government, I take it for ourselves. I take it for myself. You should take it for yourself. When you don't pay attention to the things that are going wrong in your life, you are the only one to blame for it. You're the only one that you can say, man, I'm mad. You can't be mad at the world. You can be mad at yourself because you didn't pay attention to those little things. To be successful, you have to pay attention. To be successful, you have to read books. To be successful, you have to gather more information that you already have. You should be a walking encyclopedia. You know everything about your life. And since you know everything about your life, where are you now? What status are you in now? Are you still striving? Are you still looking to be successful, or are you successful? Are you still looking to be great, or are you great already? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you great already? Now, the second step to unleashing your greatness is to focus. You have to focus to unleash your greatness. Let me take some water because my throat is getting a little parched. You have to focus. And what I like to do when I say focus is break it down. F-O-C-U-S. Facing one challenge until success. Facing one challenge until success. Norman Vincent Peale said, believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. And that just simply means that you have to understand it's up to you. You have to face the challenge or face one challenge until success. You have to do this yourself. Your mother can't do it. Your father can't do it. You can't blame anyone else for the things that's not happening in your life. See, I know. I used to blame people saying, oh, the man is putting me down. Oh, I can't get this job. I can't buy a new house. I don't have the good credit. Well, who am I blaming? I can't blame anyone else because my life is dictated by the decisions that I make. My life is dictated by the decisions that are made by me. So I can only blame myself. And when you focus on one thing, one challenge, and when you focus on one thing that you want to accomplish, you put all your power into it. Once you do that, it's going to happen for you. Once a man walks to a place where he desires to be, he will get there one way or another. Because once you make a decision, that decision will come to pass. As long as you keep the faith, it will come to pass. If you desire to lose weight, you have to focus facing that challenge to lose weight. You can't go into the ice cream parlor and say, well, I desire to lose 25 pounds, so I'm going to go to the ice cream parlor down the block and get a scoop of ice cream. Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors. So you're going to try all 31 flavors, but your decision is to lose weight. You have to focus. You have to maintain. You have to understand that you have to focus all your energy to losing weight. How do you lose weight? The best way I know how to lose weight is you stop eating. Yeah, you stop eating. If you stop eating, you're guaranteed to lose weight. But to be more realistic, to lose weight, you have to, cut down on your eating habits, cut down on the calories you eat, the potassium and all that, all that good stuff they say you shouldn't eat. You have to cut down and maintain and to lose weight. That's an easy way to lose weight. You might say you want to stop smoking. I want to stop smoking. I want to stop smoking, but yet you still carry a pack of cigarettes in your pocket. How can you say you want to stop smoking and you still taking 2 and 3 puffs of cigarette and throw it away? Yeah, you can stop gradually, but eventually you have to boil down and say, I will stop smoking right now. You have to focus your attention, focus all of your energy. I will stop smoking right now. Throw away the cigarettes, throw away everything that's going to cause you to back up and take another cigarette or take another puff. That's what you have to do. You have to focus. You have to focus on those things that you say that you're going to do. So let's take Michael Jordan, for instance. Michael Jordan, when he was in high school, they cut him from the basketball team. It hurt him so bad that he went home. He cried. He even said he cried when he went home because he knew he had greatness within him. He knew he was better than what the coach said he was. So what did he do? He went home. He focused. He said, okay, the coach said I can't hit three-pointers. He went home. He took 1,000 shots a day from the three-point line, taking those shots like that, taking the shots. He didn't make all of them, but he was so focused, eventually he was satisfied when he was taking those shots, 1,000 shots a day from the three-point line. Then what else he do? He did a layup line by himself. When you focus, it doesn't matter who's with you. All you need is your self-determination to say, I'm focused and I will accomplish this, what I put my mind to. He was by himself. He did a layup line by himself. He did a layup line, 1,000 layups, until he perfected his layup. He did a 1,000 10-foot jump shots, right inside the three-point line, 10, 15-foot jump shots, 1,000 jump shots a day, so he could perfect the jump shot. He knew he was better than what the coach said. He knew he had something inside him telling him, you can do this. You can become the world's greatest basketball player. But you have to focus. You have to focus on that, what you want to become. And he wanted to become the world's greatest basketball player. Now, throughout all of that training, he went to college, North Carolina State. He went to North Carolina State, played basketball. After he played basketball, the Chicago Bulls drafted him. The Chicago Bulls drafted him. And you know what he did with Chicago Bulls. If you don't know, where you been? If you don't know, I don't know where you been. He got 6 world championship titles. He got 6 rings. Not many people have 6 rings. I think Bill Cartwright got 11 or 13, somewhere around there. Not Bill Cartwright. One of those centers from the Boston Celtics. Old school players. He got like 13 rings, I believe, something like that. But that's an anomaly. That's way back in the day. Nobody knew how to play basketball back then. But we're talking about Michael Jordan now. Michael Jordan got 6 rings. And the majority of the people you ask will say he is the greatest basketball player of all times. Why? Because when he was young, when they told him he can't play basketball for the high school team, when they cut him, he knew he had greatness within him. He knew he had to release that greatness. He unleashed the greatness. But what he had to do before he unleashed it, he had to focus. He had to focus on perfecting. He had to focus on cultivating that gift. And what I told you before, your greatness is an uncultivated gift. Remember that. Your greatness is your uncultivated gift that you cultivate and master, and it becomes your greatness. And once you release your greatness, the whole world will see that you are great. You don't have to tell yourself that you're great. You don't have to say, I'm great, I'm great. No. Once you unleash your greatness, the whole world will say you are great. That's when you know you're great. You don't have to toot your own horn. You will say, I'm great, then everybody will say, no, they'll start judging you. But once you just release it and give it away, just do what you do and do it so well, the world will call you great. You never saw Michael Jordan say, I'm the greatest basketball player of all times. No. He won't say that. He never said that, as far as I know. As far as my research, he never said that. But I bet you that somebody you know, it might be yourself, you say he was great. Why? Because you saw his work ethic. You saw how much work he put into becoming the world's greatest basketball player. And by that, focusing on doing that, that's what happened to him. You can do the same thing if you focus on that thing that you're trying to accomplish. What are you trying to accomplish? You might say, well, I want to go to school and be a doctor. Okay, you have to focus on the requirements of being a doctor. But you might say, well, I want to go to school to be a lawyer. I want to be a Anthony T. Latson Esquire. Well, what do you have to do? You have to go to school. What's the requirements of being a lawyer? You have to go to college. You have to go to law school. After you go to law school, you have to take the bar exam. After you take the bar exam, wow, yeah, you can open up your own practice. But you have to focus on the requirements of becoming that what you desire to become. You have to focus on achieving that desired goal. Once you make a decision to do something, to be something, to become something, you have to make that conscious decision to focus all your energy to do what is required to obtain that goal that you're trying to achieve. Because the easiest way to do it, like I said, make a blueprint. What is the requirement to do what I desire to do? What is the requirement for me to unleash my greatness that I know I have residing on the inside of me? What is the requirement? What is it you have to do? Now, here's a question for you. What will you focus on to achieve your greatness? What will you focus on to achieve your greatness? Because there's so many things that you can do, but there's so many things that you can do wrong that will cause you to stumble and fall because of your greatness. You might just make the wrong blueprint. Here's an example. You might want to be a doctor, but yet you go to law school. That's kind of out there. But so many people are doing it. So many people saying, well, I know I have a gift to sing, but I'm going to take this job in McDonald's until I make enough money and I can make my own recording. That's fine and dandy, but don't get stuck in that job. Don't get stuck in a place where you say, well, I'm going to do this in the meantime. In the meantime, kill a lot of people. In the meantime, kills a lot of people because they're not focused. Instead of going to McDonald's, why don't you go get an internship, or if you need to make money, get a job at something or somewhere that you desire to be. You want to be a lawyer? Okay, and have an internship in a law firm. You want to be a doctor? Get an internship at a hospital or a doctor's office. Don't get stuck in the meantime. Wow, that's another bonus. Don't get stuck in the meantime. Hashtag meantime. That's what it is. Yeah, hashtag meantime. Don't get stuck in the meantime. Because we have to change the way we think about these things that are going on in our life. You want to unleash your greatness. You know you have a gift. You know you have something that you can offer the world, but you don't know how to unleash it. You know you can sing, but you can be better at singing. You know you can dance, you can be better at dancing. You know you have something that you can give to the world. But before you give unto the world, you have to give it in excellence. You have to give it with power, with authority. And how do you give it? When you unleash it, you have to understand that it is you that you're giving. Yes, it's your gift, but you're intertwined with your gift. You're connected with your gift. And your gift is your greatness. I keep saying greatness because I want it to get into your mind. I want you to change your mindset to say that you have something special inside of you. You have something inside of you that the world cannot even comprehend. It's only for you to understand what it is, and it's up to you to understand how to use it. Because everybody can sing, but everybody can't sing well. Everybody can't sing great. Everybody can dance, but everybody can't dance well. Everybody can't dance great. I can dance. I wouldn't show you, but I can dance. I can sing, but I would never sing to you, let you hear it. But everyone can do anything. You can do all things. You can do all things. But can you do all things well? Can you do all things well? No. Nobody can do everything well. Nobody can do everything perfect. But there's something inside of you, your gift, that only you can do. The gift has your DNA in it. Your gift has your DNA attached to it. And it's only you that can operate in that gift. And that gift that you have is yours. And it's only you that can release that gift. And the third step to unleashing your greatness is to change your way of thinking. Change your way of thinking. You have to change your way of thinking because Einstein said, the thinking that's brought me this far has caused some problems this thinking cannot solve. I got to say it again. Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has caused some problems this thinking cannot solve. And that's basically saying your way of thinking up until now, up until you hearing my voice right now, has caused some problems. The same thinking, the same pattern of thinking that you have right now, you can't solve it. You're still in the place of lack. Some people listening to me right now, they're in lack. They don't have enough of this, they have enough of that, they have enough finances. The way of thinking that caused you to have the season of lack is the same thinking you're trying to figure out, well, how do I get more? How do I get out of this place of lack? The same thinking that's caused you to be in debt, you cannot get out of debt with the same thinking. You're thinking every time you go to the store, you have to buy some new shoes or buy a new electronic equipment. That same thinking is not going to get you out of debt. You have to change your thinking. You have to come up with new ways of thinking, new patterns of thinking, new patterns of how do I get out of debt? Okay, every time I go to the store, I don't need to buy or need to charge anything I don't need. If I need food, okay, I'll buy some food, but I'm not going to buy no new shoes. I got 20 shoes in the closet. You change your way of thinking. I don't need any new shoes. I can take these other shoes over there and wear them. The same way of thinking that you have thought up until this point, you cannot solve new problems. You cannot solve the problems with the same way of thinking. Because your way of thinking has to change for you to be successful. Your way of thinking has to change for you to be successful. Because you cannot be successful, like I said it before, with the same stinking thinking. Hashtag, that's right, hashtag stinking thinking. If you on the Facebook page right now, Shane Trevor, hashtag stinking thinking. Because so many people got stinking thinking going on in their lives, they can't be successful. It's impossible for you to be successful if you got stinking thinking. And what's stinking thinking? I'm going to reiterate it. Stinking thinking is I can't. You can't think like that anymore. You can't say I can't. You can say I can do all things. Stinking thinking. You can't say, well, I might go after my dream. No, you can't say I might. You have to be focused. You have to pay attention. You have to change your thinking and say, I will. I am. You can't have that stinking thinking in your mind anymore because you want to be successful. Repeat after me. I am successful. Say, I am successful. Say it again. Say, I am successful. Because being successful is not something on the outward. Being successful is an inward work. Being successful is a mindset. Your mindset has to change for you to be successful. And to be successful and to change your mind and to change the way you're thinking has to happen for you to have success. And now Thomas Edison, we all know who Thomas Edison is. He created a light bulb. But what happened to him while he was creating the light bulb? He found over 1,000 ways of not to be successful in creating a light bulb. He had 1,000 failures. But a failure is not final. Like I said, failure is not final. 1,000 ways of not, 1,000 ways of not creating a light bulb is 1,000 ways not knowing the right system to create the light bulb. Just because those 999 ways didn't work, that just told him 999 ways not to create the light bulb. So what are you doing so many times that you say, I'm failing? You're not failing. Failing is not final. Failure is not final. Failure is just a mode to tell you it's not the right system. Don't take it personal. It's not the right system. If you try to cook spaghetti and just put the spaghetti in a pot without putting water in it, it's going to burn the pot. It's going to burn the spaghetti. That's way number one, that you learn not how to cook spaghetti. And then you go back and say, okay, I'm going to put water in the pot and put the spaghetti in the pot. You walk away. You come back 5 hours later, the pot burned. Why the pot burned? Because the water boiled out the pot. Oh, that's step number two. You learn two ways of not how to make. I got to get this right. My lips are not working. Hold on. You learn two ways of how not to make spaghetti. So you got two ways. So now you go back and you ask your mom, how do I cook spaghetti? And she gives you the recipe. So you go back, you make, you get the pot, you put the water in there, you put spaghetti in there, you put a little bit of salt in there, some paprika or whatever else you want to put in there to season it. You come back a couple of minutes later, you see the spaghetti is nice and loose and and wiggly and jiggly. Then you take it out, okay, it's done. Now you learn the right way to make spaghetti. So what happened? You learn two ways. You learn two ways of not how, I keep saying the same thing. You learn two ways of not how not to make spaghetti. I don't see why that was so hard. You learn two ways of how not to make spaghetti. And those two ways you learn, you say, okay, I know that's not how you make spaghetti. But now you discovered the right way to make spaghetti by a system that your mother gave you. You learned it from the system. You have been successful. Remember, failure is not final. Failure is just a way of telling you you have not received the right system of success. So hashtag system of success. If you're on the Facebook page, system of success. And once you hashtag that, a lot of people are going to say, wow, what does that mean? And once they figure out what it means, they're going to be like, oh, wow, you got a new revelation. You got a new word to figure out the new word of the day. And once you understand that, you have to understand that if you fail at something, in your new way of thinking, it's not final. Because you always have to adjust what you're doing. You have to adjust to make the right, adjustments, like an airplane. When you fly an airplane does not fly in a straight line. If you ever see an airplane landing, you'll see an airplane landing like, not in a straight line like this. You see it's gliding. It's always making adjustments. It's making an adjustment. So when the airplane take off from New York going to California, it doesn't go in a straight line. It's on automatic pilot. Like from here to California is right here. You see the screen? Okay, here to California is a straight line. But it takes off. It might take off and go up. You can't see it on the screen. Let me see. Go on the screen. All right. It might take off and go up in the air, go around, but the automatic pilot will always make that adjustment. So when it gets to California, yeah, there you go. When it gets to California, it'll land on a designated spot. So what happened? It made adjustments in flight. It changed your way of thinking. You know your final destination. The airplane computer knows the final destination. And when it took off, can you see it? Yeah, there you go. When it took off in the air, it had to make the adjustments. Same way like you want to be a doctor, and you go to school. Something happens, the tuition get raised, and you can't pay for it, or something happens, you get sick. You got to make adjustments. You got to go to school for 4 years, and then you got to go take 2-year internship, and then you got to take another 2 years residency, and if I'm not exactly sure that's what it is, but that's the framework. There's more things that you have to do, and as you're doing those steps or the requirements to become that doctor or lawyer, you will have to make adjustments some point or another before you get your law degree or your doctor's license, MD license. You always have to make adjustments, even in your personal life. You have to change your way of thinking when you're dealing with people, because everyone is not, let me put it this way, everyone is not able to go where you're going in your life. That's powerful. Everyone is not able to go where you're going in your life because they don't have the power to go where you're going. They don't have the power to retain all the stress, all the heartache and struggle of going where you're going, because your destination is greatness. Your destination is success. And everyone doesn't have that same mindset. Everyone cannot be successful the way you're successful. Right now, you're successful. If you're listening to me this far in this video, I thank you. And it tells me that somewhere inside of your heart of hearts, you know that you have a gift. You know you are successful. You know that you want to unleash your gift. You need the steps. The first step is pay attention. Because by paying attention, you know that you have that gift inside of you. You know that it's there. The second step to unleashing your gift is focus. You have to focus on that thing that you want to release, your gift. You have to focus on that gift to release it. You have to be aware that the gift that you have inside is worth something. You're special. You're worth more than all the gold in Africa, all the gold and diamonds in Africa. You're worth more than all the oil in Saudi Arabia. You're worth more. You're worth more. What's the preacher name? He said, yeah, Miles Monroe. Miles Monroe said, the wealthiest place in the world is not the oil fields in Arabia, nor is it the gold mines or the diamond mines in Africa. He said, the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard, because there's so many dreams and visions that died with the person that it was given to them to. But I want to take it a step further. I say the richest place in the world is you, in your mind. Because in the graveyard, in the cemetery, they are dead. They can't do anything with the gifts and the ideas that they took with them. My favorite book said, let the dead bury the dead. Those gifts and dreams was given to them and is buried with them. You can't do nothing with that gift and dream. Yes, it's valuable. It's valuable there, but you can't tap into that gift that's buried in the ground. But you have a gift. You are the richest place in this world because the gift that you have is worth more than anything anybody can imagine. Because that gift that you have, you're valuable. You're more valuable than gold, silver, anything you can imagine. That's what you have. You have that gift. It's been given to you. And my favorite book said your gift will make room for you. You have to make room for your gift. Your gift has to make room for you, but you have to make room for your gift. And you say, what do I mean by that? I know that's a scripture. Yeah, your gift will make room for you and you'll go before mighty men, kings, and you know the scripture. But the point is, you have to make room for that gift. If you have a gift to sing, but you're still working in McDonald's saying, in the meantime, I have to make this money, you haven't made room for your gift. If you know you got a gift to dance, but yet you're still working at the post office saying, well, in the meantime, I'm going to make this cash so I can buy this house, and then I'm going to go to school, dance to school, and then get my degree or whatever the case is and dance for the opera and all of that. No. You have to make room for that gift. How do you make room for that gift? Change your way of thinking and focus. Focus on that gift. Focus on that gift by paying attention to it, by doing all the requirements to make that gift come out in excellence, to make that gift come out with power and authority. Because it's only you. You're the only one that can release and unleash that gift. Some of you might not know the word unleash is like an action word that's so powerful. I can say, release your gift. Okay, I released my gift. You saw that? You saw that? I released my gift. It's like in a movie. Wow. Yeah, I released my gift. But when you say unleash, it's like a tiger. A tiger or a lion say, I'm going to unleash all this power that I have inside of me. I'm going to unleash this gift on you, and you have no power to say no. You can't resist it because this is my gift. I cultivated this gift, and a cultivated gift is greatness. A cultivated gift is greatness, and I cultivated this gift. I went to school. I struggled with it, and I made sure that I perfected it, and it's working for me, and I know it's going to work for you. And if you see me dance, I dance like no one else. You see me sing, I sing like no one else. I sing like Luther Vandross. Yeah, I sing like Smokey Robinson. I sing like Sam Cooke. I wish I could, but I sing like Sam Cooke. When I unleash my gift on you, you will know it's greatness expressed or greatness manifested. That's what unleashing your greatness is. I don't care what you're thinking right now, you have to change it and say, you have greatness inside of you. Repeat after me. I have greatness inside of me. I have greatness inside of me. I have greatness inside of me. Regardless of what the world say, regardless of what your mother say, your father say, because so many people are living off of what people say. What do you say? Now that you know you have a gift inside of you, now that you know your gift is an uncultivated greatness, what do you say? What do you say about that gift? What are you going to do with that gift? What are you going to do with that gift residing inside of you? You know that gift is calling out to you. You know that gift is calling out to you saying, release me. Release me. Let me see the world like you see the world. I'm living inside your heart. I want to see the world. Let me express myself to the world. Your gift is calling out. Your gift is waking you up in the middle of the night saying, release me. You know you got a song. I got a song waiting for you to release. I'm singing a song in your heart, but I want you to sing this song to the world. Release your gift. Once you release it, I'll do all the work. I'll put the power of releasing the gift and shift it from releasing your gift to unleashing your gift. You think you releasing your gift? When your gift get a hold of you, your gift is going to say, I will unleash it unto the world. That's what you have to realize. Your gift is not for you. It's for the world to experience. Your gift is not for you. It's for the world to enjoy. Your gift is not for you. Your gift is for the world to enjoy the thing that God has put in your life, that's put in your heart. And that's your gift. Now the question for you, now that you are aware that you have a gift, now that you are aware and that you know that you have to pay attention to that gift by unleashing it, now that you know that you have to focus on that gift to cultivate it, to master it, so that you can unleash it. Now that you know you have to change your way of thinking, that you know that you have a gift, that you have to release it and unleash it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do now? I challenge you. I challenge you right now to sit down and write everything out that you believe that you have. What is your gift? What you believe that you have is a gift. Write it out. And once you write it out on a piece of paper, write it out. You might have 3 gifts. You might think you have 3 gifts. You might think you have 2 gifts. Whatever number it is, write it out. You might say, I love to sing. You might say, I love to dance. You might say, I love to cook. You might say, I love to write. I want to write a book. That can be a gift. Well, write it out on a piece of paper. No matter how many things it is, write it out. You have to. This is one of the steps that helps a lot of my clients. You have to write it out. Write it out on a piece of paper. Once you write it out, look at each one and say it out loud. Say it out loud. You say, I love to dance. I love to dance. Once you say, I love to dance, look at the emotion that comes up when you say that word. If you say, I love to dance, you have no emotion to it, fine, go to the next one. You write out, I love to sing. Once you say, I love to sing, and your heart skips a beat and you get happiness and joy in your heart, that could be one of your gifts. You might say, I love to help people. I love to help elderly people. If that excites you in your heart and you get excited and joy in your heart, that can be a gift. Now you have to focus. Number one is pay attention, but now you have to focus and say, okay, I get excited when I said I love to dance. Okay, I love to dance. Let me focus on that. Let me see if that's my real gift. You focus on it and you practice, or you go to somebody and get somebody to critique, get a mentor, somebody who's in the industry or whatever you want to do. You want to speak, or you want to dance, you want to sing, whatever it is. Excuse me. You want to sing, you want to dance, you want to speak. Get a mentor. And that person will tell you if you have a gift or not. Even though you say, I have a gift, you might get out there and the mentor that would teach you and train you will say, nah, you got 2 left feet. You can't dance. You can't dance. Now, if it's a gift that you know is a gift, then you got to cultivate it. You have to put some work into it. Because just because he said you can't dance doesn't mean you can't dance. It just means that his revelation of what he sees coming out of you is not perfected yet. He might say, well, you're not ready. Take some more water right here. He might say, you're not ready. You're not ready to dance yet. Just like Michael Jordan, when they cut him from the basketball team, they said, you're not ready to play basketball yet. Instead of him sitting down, he went home and focused on what they said, which was not failure. It was just telling him he didn't even have the right system to become or to be on a basketball team at that time. The same for the dancer. Just because he said you can't dance and he's not training you right now because you got 2 left feet, it's telling you you got to change one of your feet. You can't have 2 left feet. You got to get a right foot. So once you get a right foot, you can start dancing. You can start practicing on those things that you say that you want to become. Dancer, lawyer, whatever it is. So that is what you have to do. And that's what I challenge you. I challenge you to write those things down for a purpose. That purpose is to help you understand what your gift is or get an idea of what your gift is. And since you have done that, and if you are here still listening to me, I applaud you. I applaud you because you lasted this long through this teaching, through me speaking. And I honor you for that. And by me honoring you for that, there's something I want to do for you. Here it is. It's going to be 1 minute. I want to honor you. I want to honor you because you lasted so long with me. You lasted so long through this teaching and this training, how to unleash your greatness. You lasted through all the stories I told you. And I just appreciate you listening to me. I want to give you this. Can you see this? Can you see this? This is a card that I give to everyone. Yeah, look at the camera. Okay, this is a card that I give to everyone because, I like to share and I like to give. My favorite book tells me it's better to give than receive. So I want to give you something. I want to give you something free because I love to give. Free. And I love the word free. Don't you love the word free? I love the word free. I'm going to give you a free book. A free book, Unlocking the Greatness Within. Look at it. Can you see this right here? Can you see this right here? Can you focus? Yeah, there it is. Wow. Sometimes this camera's, there it is. There we go. Unlocking your greatness within. I want to give this to you. I want you to text the word GREAT, G-R-E-A-T. Text the word GREAT to 718-395-5522. Text the word GREAT to 718-395-5522. And once you text the word to that number, you'll get instant access and you will get the free book, How to Unlock the Greatness Within. So that being said, this is the end of the training. I just want to thank Mr. George C. Frazier once again for the opportunity to be on the same stage, the same platform as him. He's a great, wonderful man, a visionary and a wonderful, wonderful person. And I also want to thank Shane Trevor. Shane Trevor, I know they're going to be speaking soon also. I want just to thank them once again just for an opportunity to speak on the same platform as them, because they're mighty men. They're mighty men of speakers. That's what they are. They're mighty men of speakers. And also for the other speakers that are speaking on the platform also, I just want to shout out to them saying thank you. I'm the least of them, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm the least among them, and I'm honored just to be here speaking, having a voice on this same platform. So until next time, like my tagline say, live, love, and learn. Live to your fullest, love unconditionally, and learn from everything that you experience, because you're not here by accident. You're not here by accident. You're here because you're here to learn. So until next time, I love every one of y'all.
name is Arlene Spann, and I'm the founder, president, and CEO of Arlene Spann Sweats. And according to Yale at their medical center, they had some statistics to give us. And according to them, their doctors say that 90% of diabetes, 80% of heart disease, and 60% of cancer. All of these things are preventable diseases that can be prevented through changing our lifestyle and changing our diet. I'm here today to talk with you about why be healthy. Just why should we be healthy? Ask yourself this question. What stresses you out? Or what kinds of things have you seen going on in your body? Have you experienced any achy knees? Have you experienced your doctor say you have high cholesterol? Have you experienced when you look at yourself, you're just not able to look in the mirror at who you are? What about your self-esteem? Are you a person that tends to go to the back of the room when things are going on? Or are you the person that's right on it, right up in the middle of everything that's transpired? What about medications? Are you a person that takes not just one medication, but you could probably start a whole pharmacy by yourself based on everything that you're taking? According to that Yale study that was given, they said if we did this, listen, ladies, this is what the Yale study asked us to do. And I'm telling you, why do you want to be healthy? They said to do this. If we take a measuring tape, ladies, and if we measure our waistline, and if our waistline is 34 inches or more, then we need to go see our doctor. And they didn't get you off the hook, men. They said if yours is 40 or more, then you need to go see a doctor. And you say, well, Arlene, why? Why would I need to go see a doctor? Because a lot of what's going on in our waistline is letting us know what's happening throughout the rest of our bodies. Hi, I'm Arlene Spann of Arlene Spann Sweats. And today I really want to talk to you about why we need to be healthy. Why do we need to be healthy? I want you to think about, what has your family history looked like? Think about it. Do you know anyone in your family who has had a heart attack? Do you know anyone who's had a stroke? Anyone with diabetes? Anyone with lupus? Multiple sclerosis? And the list could go on. I mean, we could go on and on and on naming various diseases. But especially if you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a person of influence, that you're out there giving to others, I want you to do this. If you are a business person, I need you to do this right now. I want you to hashtag the word healthy. That's right. Hashtag the word healthy. Because I want you to, if you haven't done so already, to begin to join forces with people such as General Electric. They're a big, huge company. But what General Electric has decided to do, they see that health is important. And they see that in order to keep down people taking off to have to go and stay home because they're sick. They've incorporated health into their bottom line. And they make sure that their people are able to get healthy fitness centers on their site, right there where they're located. Other companies, how many of you have heard of Google? Or we're on Google right now, right? You're able to see and view the things that you're able to see because of Google. But do you know that Google thinks that health is important, and therefore it incorporates health and wellness into its program? And what about other companies that are doing the same thing? Why do you want to be healthy? You want to be healthy so that you can reduce that stress. Stress, I said earlier, according to Yale, 60% of the people who have stress is preventable. You want to be able to reduce diabetes. I'm going to share a picture with you today because the Arlene that you see now, I want you to show she wasn't always that way. And I'm going to try to get this so that you're able to see. If you can see that picture, that's Arlene. That was the unhealthy Arlene. That was an Arlene who was pre-diabetic with high cholesterol and simply overweight. And that wonderful gentleman that's sitting beside her, of course, is my handsome husband. And I had to take a journey. I had to make a decision. When the doctor said, Arlene, you are pre-diabetic, I knew that I had some choices to make. A lot of choices to make. Did I want to take pills? And that's what they wanted to start me off with, was pills. And then go in the progression like my mother did. My mother took one pill at first. Then they progressed her to 2 pills. From there, she went on to take an insulin. And I saw that progression as it took place. And I had to make a decision. Was that something that I wanted to do for myself? Did I want to have to do the same thing? And my decision was no. I didn't want to go through that progression. I didn't want the quality of my life to change. So why be healthy? Think about the quality of your life. Do you want them to start like a friend of mine who had diabetes? And they started by taking off one toe. And the way I look at it is these toes were given to me for a reason, and to you for a reason and a purpose. They took his big toe off first. Then that wasn't enough. They had to amputate the entire foot. That wasn't enough. Then up to the knee. They start, and I figured I need all of those things like you do to stand on. So if this is something that's preventable, which means that I have in my hands the ability to change the course of that particular disease, which for me was diabetes, it could be something else for you, why not take into our own control the ability to change that? According to the American Diabetes Association, they had this to say. They look at you and they ask you 7 questions. And I'm going to read it directly from what they said, especially for my friends who have decided that they would sign on the dotted line when they were told that they had diabetes. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be healthy. So the American Diabetes Association has this to say. They will ask you these questions. And one of the questions that they will ask you is simply how old you are. And based on your answer to how old you are, they're going to give you a certain amount of points. And then they'll ask you your gender, if you're a male or a female, and based on that, you're going to get a certain amount of points. And then they're going to ask you, if you're a lady or a woman, if you've ever been diagnosed with gestation diabetes. And if you have, you give yourself a point for that. And then they'll ask you questions like this, which are dealing with your family. Do you have a father, a mother, or siblings, anyone in your family who has had diabetes? And based on that, you get more points. And then they're asking you, were you physically active? And that by doing so, and then they ask you, what's your weight status? And based on your weight status, now you have to understand Arlene. Arlene stands at 4 feet 11. That picture that you saw was an Arlene who was 183 pounds. The Arlene you see sitting before you today is an Arlene that is 128 pounds, still working on it, but have reduced tremendously. But based on the American Diabetes Association, what they had to say concerning my stature, my height, my frame, they said that it's good for me to be at a weight that is 125 pounds or less. So you see, based on them, I could be just a little bit overweight even now, but understand, I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. And I know that for you, if you want to be healthy, you need to know just why. What about thinking about looking at your overall picture of health? I want you to stop and think. When was the last time that you even exercised? When was the last time that you were able to go up steps or down steps and you weren't like winded, like stopping? You were able to go. Those are things for me that I had a hard time doing at first. But when I understand why I needed a better health style, then I began to change. I began to change my eating habits. I began to move more. I began to embrace the fact that if I didn't have me, and if I didn't have my health, which is my biggest commodity, and yours as well, business owners, if you don't have your health, if you don't have you, how does your business continue to go? If you're a speaker, if you're an author, whatever that business is important that you are in the best health possible. Now, how many soda drinkers do I have out there? How many? How many of you know that soda has absolutely no nutritional value for you? I know it gets all bubbly and it's fuzzy and all those things. And it's common, everywhere you go, every event, we're going to have those things. But did you know that what causes people to embrace and take hold and want to continue with that soda drinking is something called high fructose corn syrup? And that high fructose corn syrup, what that does to your body is it kind of sits around your organs and it smothers it, for the lack of a better term right now, and it gets into your body, and it's a artificial sweetener. In case you want to know what it is, it's an artificial sweetener, just like your Splenda or your, what's the other thing, the NutraSweets and those kinds of things. Those things are things that are artificials. So the reason why you want to be healthy is so that you're able to perform at a higher level. You want to be healthy so that you're not labeled with any of those preventable diseases. Now, Arlene had to become healthy in order to sustain her life, in order to not have body parts coming off. Matter of fact, go out there, and I need you to do this. I need you to hashtag this. I would like for you to hashtag just the word why. Because I want you to think about my why might not be your why. And your why could be different from my why. So hashtag the word why, because I want you to understand why you need to be healthy. For some of us, we might have children, we might have grandchildren, and they perform and they do things, and we want to be a part of those things. But because our health, or we're having certain ailments and ill repair, we're not able to do the things with them that we would like to do. Some of you know that there have been people who've taken a plane trip and those things, and because of their health and because of their weight, they wanted them to get not just one plane ticket or seat for themselves, but two. Is that something that we want for ourselves? Why be healthy? So that when you measure your waist and it tells the story about who you are and what you've been doing in your body, it's going to help you to understand that you are not doing things that would cause you to be categorized in the category with any of those preventable diseases. You can say stroke. No, I'm not going to do anything that's going to cause me to have a stroke. Why? So that you can reduce the heart disease. Why? So that you can reduce cancer. Why? So that you can be around to lead your company. You can be around to impact the world. You can be around to inspire others. You can be around to empower others. You can be around so that the message that was given to you, your purpose, can be fulfilled each and every day. That's the reason why you want to be healthy. Now, I'm going to take you on a journey. And this journey that I'm going to take you on, I want you to get the picture. A journey through health. A journey where Arlene was. Overweight. Constantly visits to the doctor. Constant days off work. Constantly calling in. I'm sick, but I'm sick for real. Not a fake, sick, but sick for real. Constantly running out of breath. Always not able to sleep and rest at night. And what about you? Am I painting a picture that looks like what you have been used to? A picture where you try to sleep, and not because you're all excited you can't sleep, because there are aches and pains. Or for some of you, it could be just sleep apnea. It could be any of those things. But my purpose for being here today is to let you know that you don't have to be unhealthy. You can start doing swaps. When I started to learn about being healthy, for me, you can see behind me it says Arlene Spann Sweats. At 183 pounds, with a decision that I needed to do something differently concerning my health, Arlene Spann Sweats came into play. I looked at the things that I was doing, what I did to make myself healthier, understanding why I wanted to be healthy. Let's not just wait for the doctor to say there's an ailment before we get healthy. That was my situation. I had to wait for the doctor to say, listen, Arlene, you're overweight, you have high cholesterol, and you're pre-diabetic. And then I moved into action. But why not move into action before then? Why not move into action now? Why not even wait to hear about a diabetes or a stroke or a heart attack or any of those things? Move yourself into action now. How I did it, moving forward into action, I began to supply my body with the nutrients and the things that it needed in order to be healthy. I gave my body water. I was a soda drinker, yes, because I come from a family. Everybody drinks soda. It's all around us. But with that high fructose corn syrup, all it was doing for me was helping me to hold on to the fat that was in my body. So I began to look at the water situation and understanding based on my research, based on what I understood what doctors were saying, that at least 60 to 70% of our bodies are made up of water, including our organs, which need water. And what I did was begin to supply my body with water. And then I began to read and research. People, research. Even though I'm sitting here telling you things today, go do some research. I began to eliminate things that were weight sabotagers, things that would hold on to the weight. I began to eliminate those additives, anything that was added, the dyes, those kinds of things, the high fructose corn syrup, taking them out of my diet, beginning to read labels. I knew that in order to be healthy, I had to read what are the ingredients in what I'm eating. So I read the labels and got rid of additives, trans fats. I swapped out things. I took out the margarines and the vegetable oils and replaced them with things like olive oil and coconut oil. And then I started to look at processed food differently because it contains sodium. Anything that came prepackaged, I took away out of my diet as much as I possibly could because I knew I had no control over what was going on inside of those packages. I had nothing to do with them. So why do you want to be healthy? You want to be healthy so that you can be around for your family. You want to be healthy so that you can be around for your business. You want to be healthy so that you don't have the aches and pains, so that you do have mental clarity, so that you aren't lethargic, so that you don't get cancer, so that you can fight these things, the heart attacks and the strokes and the diabetes, so that you're not that person that would have to give yourself the insulin shots. Now, I know I'm going on and I'm telling you about things about being healthy, but I would like for you to take a journey with me. I only have a certain amount of time here to share with you today. But you might want to connect with me. And you might want to learn more about the research that I've done. I've done the research for you so that you don't have to do that research. I researched and found out what Yale's doing. I've researched and found out that, yes, Nike is a big company, but they're concerned about the people that work for them. And they're concerned so much so that they have those programs to help keep their people healthy. So you say, why connect with Arlene? Because I can take you on a 6-week journey, a 6 weeks journey where we will individualize a plan for you, a plan of action for you so that you can become healthier. And in those 6 weeks, we'll have 6 20-minute calls, just conference calls to help share, calls to see how you're doing, calls to answer questions for you, and even get you caught up on the latest research that's going on. Not only that, give you worksheets, things that you can use, things that will prompt you to think about what you're doing, think about why you want to be healthy. And then offer you, there's a free downloadable CD. And that CD talks to you about a healthier you today, telling you about the sweat system and why and how you can become healthier right now as we speak. I always like to give you a call to action. And my call to action today is, if you have water around you, go and get some and drink it. Go drink some water so that you can rehydrate your body. Drink that water. That's the biggest thing that you can do for yourself, understanding that, remember, 60 to 70% of your body is water. So what we're going to do with this in these 6 weeks is I'm going to take you through step-by-step process of how you can be a healthier you today. Matter of fact, go out and hashtag. Remember, we've already hashtagged about being healthy. We hashtag about being why. Now I want you to hashtag the word sweats, because sweats, we're going to talk about that system in detail. And when we talk about that system in detail, you're going to begin to understand and in detail what the different additives are and what they're doing to your body. You'll learn about MSGs. You'll learn again about the high fructose corn syrup. You'll learn about the dyes. You'll learn about things like GMOs. I don't have enough time today to tell you about those. But when you come and you be a part of this 6 weeks program that we're putting together for you, that's already put together, but yours can be individualized and personalized for you, because you're you. You're nobody else but you. So what worked for me might not work for you. But we know that we can individualize the program for you. And I'm going to put something up on the screen, because you are going to want to know, how can I connect with Arlene? How can I learn about this program? How can I learn about why be healthy? How can I learn about not being a diabetic or reversing it? I reversed mine. You can do the same thing too. So let's put up some information. If you want to contact me, if you want to know how you can get in touch with me, there's the website, there's the email address, and there's the phone number. That phone number, 240-354-9174, 240-354-9174. As a matter of fact, text the word lose to 240-354-9174. And when you text the word lose to that number, I will send you, not only will you get the Healthier You today, but you will also get the free downloadable. I did an interview with a well-known person. She's been doing interviews and broadcasting for over 30 years, and she did an interview, and I want you to hear that interview that where she interviewed me. So if you text the word lose to 240-354-9174, that will be your bonus. I will send you that as a bonus so that you can come alongside what Arlene Spin Sweats is doing and make you a healthier you today. So why be healthy? Remember, if you had tennis elbow, no more. Why be healthy? So that you can be around for your family, so that you can be around for your business, so that you can be around to empower others, inspire others, so that you can motivate others, so that you can build your own self-esteem, so that you can share that message that you have, that only you can share, that only you can tell, that you can tell your story and share it with the world. All 4 corners of the earth needs to hear your story. So since they need to hear your story, why not be a healthier you today, so that you will be around to share with your children, your grandchildren, your aunts, your uncles, your mothers, your fathers, everyone. You can be a walking, living testimony of what being healthy can do in a person's life. The testimony that says you do not need to have disease running rapid in your body. A healthy you that says why. Listen, people, I'm not going to be one of those statistics. Not in the 90% of the heart disease, of the diabetics, not in the 80% of the heart disease, and I'm not going to be in the 60% of the cancer. I want to be the walking, talking, living testimony of why you want to be healthy. A more vibrant you, radiant you, one that beams. Isn't it a lot better than being all downtrodden and lethargic and I can't get through this and everything? Why be healthy? Let's look at the picture for the last time. This was Arlene, okay? You see that? That was Arlene. Why be healthy? Look at that picture and ask yourself, would you want to be the Arlene that you see in the black dress with her hair pulled back, or the one that you can see from the side? Why be healthy? So that you can go out and serve your passion and do the things that you were called to do. I am Arlene Spann of Arlene Spann Sweats. You can reach me at www.arlenespannsweats.com or 240-354-9174. Be healthy today.
I am one of the lead trainers in Greater Success Institute, as well as the author of my upcoming book, Pulling the Best Out of You, How to Reach Your Greatest Potential. And I have to tell you, I am so excited to be here. I'm excited to be on the platforms of such great presenters today. I want to give a shout out to Shay and Trevor, two men who are making it happen in the world today. So I'm grateful to be connected with them. I'm also want to give a shout out to one who I consider to be the master, one of the greats in the enhancement and development of our people, and that is no one other than George C. Frazier. So I am so honored to share the stage with him. And I just want to say that one of the things that really humbles me at this moment in my life is that I get to share with you, that I get to look at you, and then even though I can't see you, I know that you're on the other side of this camera, and I know that if you are listening to me today and right now, this is one thing that I know, and that is that it is your time, it is your season, it is your moment for greatness, for success, for destiny, for enhancement, for development. Because although the world is saying, crying out recession, this time is really for time, is the time for those who have said, listen, I'm not satisfied with the status quo. I want more. For those who have said life has to be more than this. And if you're listening to me and you ever reached a point in your life where you said life has to be more than this, maybe in your career you realize there's more, you want more, you desire more in your profession, in your home, with your relationship, in your finances. You've reached a point in your life where you said, life has to be more than this. And the dilemma that you may face, because I was there, I was at that point in my life where I reached a point in my life where I said to myself, life has to be more than this. I was working a 9-to-5, doing my normal routine, going through the motions, but there was dreams inside of me. There were goals inside of me that were laying dormant. I wanted to start my own business. I wanted to write my books. I wanted to impact the world on a larger scale. I wanted to do the very things that I'm doing today, but the dilemma that I faced was I knew there was more. But how to get to the more, I did not know. And maybe you can identify with me. Maybe you know there's more. You know there's more for you. You know there's more in you. You know you want to take your business to the next level. You're ready to take your career to the next level. You're ready to take your relationship to the next level. You're ready to take your finances to the next level. But the problem and the dilemma that you may face, as I did, is that you know success is out there for you, but how to get to your success, how to get to that more, you don't know. And so what I want to do today is I want to share with you some strategies and some principles on how to get to your more, how to reach your success. Because one of the things that I discovered is this, is that it all starts with you. It all starts with you. Your success, your wealth, your goals, your dreams, they're not outside. They're inside of you. And the moment you make a decision that I will be successful, the moment you make a decision that my life is going to change, the moment you make a decision that I will live my dreams, ladies and gentlemen, that's the moment that your life will begin to change. Because as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, once you make a decision, the universe will conspire to make it happen. Once you make a decision, I don't know, God just moves and allow opportunities and doors to open your way. Once you get to the point that I'm serious about this, and I know those of you who are watching me, you're serious about your success. You're serious about your development. You're serious about taking your life to the next level. And so I want to share with you today some basic principles on how to take your life to the next level, how to reach your success. And ladies and gentlemen, not only does it start with you, I want you to take a moment from this point on in your life to whether or not you own your own business or not. I want you to see yourself as the CEO, as the president of your company. And the name of your company is you. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the CEO of your life. You are the president. You are in charge. You are responsible for the success and failure of your career, and it's in your hands. And I want you to know at this moment now, you can change the course of your life. You can change the course of your business. You can change the course of your destiny. The pen is in your hand, and all you have to do is write a new chapter. Doesn't matter where you are right now. Doesn't matter how bad it's been or how good it's been. I want you to know from this moment on, you have the ability and the power to create your own life. And it starts with a decision. To you making it happen, that you're going to do it. And so one of the things that I want to share, not only does it start with you, but one of the things that you must do in order to get to your success, and that is number one, create a vision for your life. So if you're in the feed, I just want you to hashtag create a vision for your life. You must create a vision for your life. As the scripture says, without a vision, the people perish. You must map out a direction that your life is going. What do you want? Because success means many things to many people. What does success mean to you? I want you to really take a moment and examine your life, because this is the moment that your life can change. This is the moment that you can go to the next level of your life. And one thing I want you to know, I want you to be able to know where you are going. I want you to be able to have a vision for your life. What do you want? What do you love? What is it? What type of life do you want? Many say, well, I want to open up my business. That's not good enough. I want you to be specific. What type of business do you want to have? And maybe you have your own business already, and that's great. So I say to you, what direction do you want your business to go in? What's the next step for your business? What's the vision for your business? Where you want to be in 3 months from now, where you want to be a year from now, where do you want to be 5 years from now? And I want you to be very clear. I want you to make a vision and create a vision for your life so clear that you can drive up in McDonald's and be able to order your vision. This is what I want. I want $3.5 million. I want to make, I want you to be so clear. And maybe you say, well, you know what, I want to write, and that's great. But I want you to be clear. What type of books do you want to write? Who's the audience? What type of audience do you want to speak to? What type of people do you want your business to cater to? I want you to be so clear creating a vision for your life, because once you have a vision, you're halfway there. Once you have a vision, a map, and a roadmap that you want to go into, you now can go in that direction. So number one, I want you to be very clear about what you want. I want you to create a vision for your life. And that's just simply saying to you, what do you want? Next, after you've created a vision, the second thing I want you to do, I want you to create a plan for your life. Because you can have a vision, you can have a dream, you can have a goal, but if you don't have a plan, I want you to create a plan for your life, because dreams without a plan is a fantasy. I want you to create a plan. This is what I want. This is where I'm at, and this is where I want to go. So your planning stage is crucial. Your creating a plan is crucial, because not only do I want you to create a plan of where you want to go, I want you to also, in this planning stage, I want you to examine where you are. Because there are some of us who we know what we want. We can order it. I can tell you exactly how much money I want to make next year. I can tell you exactly where I want my business to be. I can tell you exactly the next book that I'm about to write. I can tell you exactly what I want. And there are some of you out there, you can tell me exactly. You know what you want. You say, Dr. Kim, I know what I want. So I say to you this. Do you know where you are? Do you know where you are? Knowing what you want is good. But in order to get to where you want, you must really have a clear picture of where you are. Something happened to my husband and I. We were traveling this past weekend, and we got turned around. We got lost. And, you know, the phone wasn't working, GPS wasn't working, so we had to make a phone call. And we called someone who knew how to give us direction. And the first thing that person said to us when we made the call, first thing the person said is, where are you? First question she asked us was, where are you? Because she could not give us directions to where we wanted to go if she did not know where we are. And I say to you, if you don't know where you are, you really can't map out how to get to where you want to go. You must have a clear picture. This is what I may want my business to generate $3.5 million, but I must know how much I'm generating now. Where are you? You may want to be a best-selling author. Great. Where are you? Where are you? And I say you discover in your planning stage, know, number one, where you are. Number two, know where you want to go. And number three, know how you're going to get there. Make a plan. How you're going to get there. You may say to me, well, you know, Dr. Kim, I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know. I know where I want to go. I know where I'm at, but I don't know how to get there. I say to you this. Find out how to get there. Because whatever you want, whatever business you want to operate, whatever business you may be in, whatever level of success you're trying to reach, someone else is already there. Someone else has the business that you want. Someone else has already written the book that you want to write. Someone else is already speaking to the audience that you want to speak to. So if you don't know how to get there, I'll say you research and you find out, get connected to those who are already there. Find out how they got there. You research. If you got to go to the library, if I got to go on the internet, if I got to do whatever I have to do, I'm going to find out, number one, where I'm at, number two, where I want to go, and number three, where do I need to do to get there? Planning. Planning. You ready to take your life to the next level? Number one, know the level that you want to go to. And number two, plan out how you're going to get there. Plan out how you're going to get there. Sorry, my earpiece is going down. Number three, so I want you to hashtag, number one, hashtag create a plan. Number two, hashtag number one, create a vision. Hashtag number two, if you're in the feed right now, create a plan. You're going to play, you're going to strategize, you're going to create step-by-step strategies, because success is not about doing some big step in the future. No, success is about making small steps right now. Success is about doing small steps now, step by step, bit by bit, moment by moment. That's how you get to your success. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So I say to you, map out your step. Plan out your steps. Number 3 is this. I want you to create connections. Create connections. One of the most powerful strategies in reaching your success, one of the most powerful secrets, if you will, to being successful is being connected to those who are successful. If you want to be successful, get connected to those who are successful. If you want to be rich, be connected to those who are rich. If you want to be wealthy, be connected to those who are wealthy, because your connections in your life will do 2 things. They will either pull you toward your dream, they will pull you toward your success, or they'll drag you to your failure. Be connected. I don't know if you heard Kevin Durant's speech. He was nominated the MVP of the NBA, the National Basketball Association, recently. And as I listened to this young man, as he stood on the stage to accept his award, as I listened to him, I said to myself, this young man has discovered a secret that many adults have not discovered. He stood up there and he realized something. He realized that he could not get to the place where he was at without the help of other people. He accepted the award, but notice he gave tribute to not only his mother, but he gave tribute to his teammates. He gave tribute to those who pushed him, those who supported him, even in his time of failure, those who would write letters to him and put it in his locker and say, Kevin Durant, you are the MVP. I don't care what night you had. I don't care how much struggle you had. We may have lost this game, but you are the MVP. And I say to you, if you're going to reach success, if you're going to reach greatness, if you're going to live your dream, then you're going to need to be connected with people who are going to speak into your life, people who are going to encourage you, people who are going to tell you, you are the MVP. You are a best-selling author. You are great. You are wealthy. You are rich. You are whatever it is you want. You need people in your life who are going to support you. Those of us may have remembered, as the world celebrated last year, Diana Nyad, as she swam 103 miles in the shark-infested water without a protective cage. She came out of that water and she says, listen, this is a great accomplishment. Listen, I'm living my dreams. Listen, I did the very thing that I dreamt of doing years ago. I fell 4 times and I made it this time. And she said, I have 3 messages to you that I want to share with the world. 3 messages that allowed me to live my dreams. And number 1, she said, never give up. Number 2, she said, you're never too old to dream. But number 3, she said, this may look like a solitary event. This may look like I accomplished this on my own. This may look like I did this by myself, but I didn't. This was a teamwork. I had people supporting me. She said, every moment I begin to hear the people in my ears as they pushed me and said, go, Diana. You can do it, Diana. You can win, Diana. You can make it, Diana. And the only reason why she said she made it is because she had people in her ear saying you can do it. And I say to you this, that the only way you're going to make it, and this is a harsh reality about success, because you don't make it to success by yourself. You can ask anyone who has achieved any level of greatness, any level of accomplishment. They will tell you that they did not make it there by themselves. They had people who gave them a hand up, people who spoke into their ear. And I say to you, you need people who are going to speak into your ear, people who are going to declare that you are who you are, People who are going to see greatness for you when you don't even see it for yourself. Kevin Durant said, I had people who believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. And I say to you, you're going to need people who are going to believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. You know why? Because you can't see the picture while you're in the frame. So if you're in the feed, I want you to hashtag create connections. And not just connections, but quality connection. Les Brown has a saying that is OQP. In other words, only quality people. Not just any type of connection, but connections that are going to push you forward. Only quality people, only people in your life who are going to push you and encourage you and support you. And the problem with many of us, the reason why we haven't gone to the next level, the reason why our business haven't reached the next level, the reason why our finances has not reached the next level, because we're connected to people who are draining us, who are toxic to us. Dennis Kimbrough has a saying. He says, listen, if you're the smartest one in your group, then you need to get a new group. But I even go further than not that, but if you're the one in your group, you're making the most money, you need to get a new group. You need to get around people who are making more money than you. You need to get connected to businesses who are more successful than your businesses. You need that connections, because your connections will either pull you up or pull you down. One of the greatest secrets that have changed my life is my connections with people. I realize I can't make it here by myself. Let me learn from those who have already done it. Let me get instructions. And not only that, get a coach, get a mentor, get someone who's going to take you to the next level. Because your connections will give birth to your dreams. So number one, create a vision. Number two, create a plan. Number three, take action. Take action. I didn't say create action, because you know what? At this point, once you know where you are, once you have your vision, once you know where you want to go, once you are connected with people, you're getting instructions, you have a coach, you have people who are mentoring you, who are encouraging you. At this point, you got to take action. Because many of us, we know what we want. We know what we know how to get there. We have so much knowledge. But knowing is one thing. Doing is another. Nothing happens until you take action. Your life will not change until you take action. You'll be in the same place you were last year and 5 years and 10 years ago if you never take action. Take action on your dreams. Take actions on your plan. Work your plan. Implement the things that you learn. Apply it in your life day by day. I say this. I say develop an action plan. That means every day do something toward your dream. Every day. You know, John Maxwell, he says something. John Maxwell, one of the great leadership coach, as well as the best-selling author. He said he spent 1 hour a day writing, 1 hour a day on his dream, 1 hour a day doing the things that is going to lead him toward his goal. And I say to you, spend 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day working on your dreams, 1 hour a day developing your business, 1 hour a day making connections, 1 hour a day reading, 1 hour a day listening to audio, 1 hour a day building yourself up, building your business, taking your life to the next level. 1 hour a day will change your life. 1 hour a day. And this is what I know, because this is what I do in my life. These are the steps that have changed my life. And I say to you that if you have that vision for your life, if you have that plan and you're connected to the right people, that if you take action, if you move out, doesn't matter how small it is, because success is not about some big step, as I said, that we take in the future. Success is about steps that you do right now. When is it time for you to move out on your dreams? Now. When is it time for you to move out on your success? Now. When is it time for you to take your life to the next level? Not 5 years from now. Not next year, now. And you don't have to make a big step. Start where you are with what you have, because what you have is enough. Do what you can right now. If you want to write the book, okay, great. You schedule block time and you spend that time writing, whether I write a chapter a day, write whatever, a paragraph a day, however small steps you have to do, you do it. You put the action in, because I tell you, if you put the action in, your life will change. 1 hour a day working on your dream. And let me share this with you. The reality about success is this. Success is not easy. Success is not easy. There is not a smooth road to success. No, the road to success is hard. The road to success is bumpy. The road to success is not easy, because what you're going to find is that you're going to meet with failure. You're listening to me, and you may be fired up and ready to go move out on your dreams, and you have listened to the other presenters and those who will come behind me, and you are going to be charged up. You're going to be ready to move out on your dream, and that's great. And I'm going to say this to you, that after maybe this day is over, maybe next week, maybe a month from now, maybe a year from now, something is going to happen in your life that's going to knock you down. Something is going to happen on this road to success that's going to make you want to stop. Something is going to happen. I don't know what it is. You may be on your own. Maybe you just get blindsided. Things happen on your job. Things happen in your home. Things happen with your children. Things happen in your body. Things happen. Life just happens. And the question is, what are you going to do when life happens? And I say to you, when life happens, you keep getting up. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to meet with failure, but that's okay, because failure is a part of success. If you want to be successful, you got to get used to failing. It's okay. Thomas Edison said, hey, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work, because there is no such thing as failure. It's only feedback, because whatever didn't work is only going to tell me what will work. What will work. What are you going to do when you meet with life? I want to tell you, life is a part of success. You meet it and you keep going forward. You meet it and you keep getting up. If you get knocked down 21 times, it's okay. Get up 20, get up. If you get knocked down 21 times, get up the 22nd time. If you get knocked down 99 times, get up 100 times. I don't care how many times you get knocked down, keep getting up. Martin Luther King says, listen, if you can't fly, then you run. If you can't run, then you walk. If you can't walk, then you crawl. But whatever you do, keep going forward. And I say to you that whatever you do, as you meet life, you keep going forward. Go forward. If you got to crawl, go forward. If you got to cry, go forward. Even if you get taken back, it's okay. Get taken back and keep going forward. Because that's just a part of life. Diana Nyad, she fell 4 times, but she kept going forward. Take action on your dreams. Keep going forward. Take action on your dreams and keep going forward. That's the reality about life. That's the reality about success. Because anyone out there who will tell you that it's easy, they're not honest with you. It's a price to success. If you're willing to take these steps, you're willing to pay the price. This is one thing that I want to say to you, growing up. My grandmother used to tell me this growing up. My grandma used to say, Kim, never give up on your dream. My grandma used to say, Kim, never give up, never give up. But there's one thing that I've learned on this road to success. There's one thing that I've learned in developing my business. That there are some things, and there's one thing in particular that you must give up on. And I'm going to say to you, and maybe I'll be the first one to say to you, that this one thing that you must give up on. You must give up on giving up. You must give up on giving up. If you want to be successful, you have to make a resolve in your life that I'm giving up on giving up, that I will not give up, that I'm going to take my dream, I'm going to take my passion, I'm going to take my success all the way to the end. I'm giving up on giving up. I say to you, the moment you make that decision, the moment you make the decision that you're going to give up on giving up, your life will change. The moment you make the decision that regardless of what happens, I'm going forward. I'm not giving up on this. I'm not going to let go of my dream. I'm not going to let go of my success. Life may knock me down, but I'm going to look life in the eye and I'm going to tell life, I was born to do this. I was born to have this. I was born to live this life. I've given up on giving up. I say to you, the moment you make that decision is the moment your life will change. The moment you make that decision, the moment the universe will open up to you, because the world will stand aside for the man or the woman who knows where he or she is going. The world will stand aside for the man or the woman who has made up in their mind that I'm going for this and I'm not going to stop. You must give up on giving up. I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, you take the steps. You create your vision. You write out a plan. Know where you are. Know where you want to go. Know how to get there. Be flexible. Do an assessment. Check where you are. Have a group. Have someone you're accountable to. Get a coach. Get a mentor. You take action and you make it up in your mind that you're not giving up on giving up. There's nothing or no one that can stop you. You will reach your success. Your dream will become your reality. And one day you will look up and the dream and the goals that were in your head will now be in your hands. Because you are destined for success. You are destined for greatness. You are destined. You were created that way. And so I'm excited for you. And one thing before I leave you, I want to sow into your life. Before I leave you, I want to give you a gift. I want to give you a gift, and it is a book that is called The Blueprint to Success. I want to give you the gift while you're on your journey, going to your next level, getting to more money in your career, in your finances, in your business. As you go higher and higher, I want you to have this gift. It is called The Blueprint to Success. And all you have to do is text success to 718-395-5522. I just want to make sure I have this number right, and that is 718-395-5522. 718-395-5522. Text the word success. And I want to be a part of your future. I want you to have this gift because I'm excited about you. I'm excited about your future, and the world awaits you. The world waits you. Your books, your words, your business. Success is in your future. Again, just text the word success to 718-395-5522 to receive this gift. I thank you. It has been an honor. It has been a privilege to be share with you today and to share with you my passion and my love. I look forward to seeing you out there and to experience your greatness. Thank you. This has been Dr. Kim Latson.
I'm Dr. Letitia Wright. I'm host of the Right Place television show, and I teach media skills for for speakers. I'm talking about going from the stage, live stage, to the screen and what you need to do to make that happen. If you're a speaker or a business owner who would like to be more in the media, you'd like to see yourself on television, you'd like to hear yourself doing more radio interviews, you'd like to do more magazine interviews and be in papers and be interviewed by bloggers, then this talk is for you, because that's what I'm going to be talking about. The main reason people have challenges with getting into the media is that while they are great speakers, a lot of times they don't have the media training that they need to use for the media. You see, the media is a little bit different than just speaking from the stage or teaching. And so some of our greatest speakers you don't see on television very much. We all love Tony Robbins. We would all pay to be in the front seat, but he's had 2 television shows canceled. You can look it up. It's public knowledge. This isn't really any secret information. And why is that? When we know he's a great speaker, draws in millions and millions of dollars every year, packs out the houses wherever he goes, but couldn't maintain a television audience. Well, it's because his skills from the stage are fantastic, but a lot of those skills don't translate very well when you get into media. And later on, a little bit, I'm going to teach you some of the skills that you need and refresh your memory on what works for TV may not always work for the stage and vice versa. And you want to cultivate both of those skills. Media skills and speaking skills, those are 2 separate things. And a lot of times people are great in the speaking, but not so great in the media. And we also know other speakers we can think of that have had television shows and have had them canceled. And a lot of times people will blame it on a lot of different things, but the main thing is the content. The main thing is the person has to have skills that translate well. And that's what I want to help you with. So media, why do we even want to be in the media? Is because it's the quickest way to get your message out. I have a little group called Instant Star Maker. If you're part of Instant Star Makers, that's awesome. You can go to virtualnetworkinglive. virtualnetworkinglive.com. virtualnetworkinglive.com and go into the exclusive Facebook group. And just put pound media. Dr. Wright says pound media is good. Media is good in the virtualnetworkinglive.com. The reason why media is good is because it spreads our message very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. In other words, if I'm on the Oprah show and her show reaches 70 million, I can speak my message and reach her 70 million. If I'm on the local radio show in my hometown and they have 5,000 listeners on the morning drive time, I get to share my message with those 5,000 people instantly. 5,000 new people that are not already in my group or in my tribe or in my mailing list or on my text messaging. These are 5,000 new people. You instantly reach those people. And so that's why you want to use the media, not because you're trying to be a superstar, but because your message needs a way to get out there. Your message needs a pathway. The shows, the blogs, the magazines, they all give your message a vehicle to ride in. Now you can do it one by one. You can have your message hitchhike, essentially. You can get on a train, or you can get on an airplane that just whoosh gets to your destination quickly. And that's what these bigger and bigger shows do, but you have to be ready for the opportunity. There is a woman who was on Oprah's book club. She was on the show. Remember when Oprah had a book club and anybody's book who was talked about would instantly sell 1 million copies? I mean, it was fabulous. I was part of the first televised book club that Oprah did. I was part of the LA tribe, and I have some pictures on Facebook of us, reading the first book and all the cool stuff. But instantly, all of those people became super bestsellers. But there was one woman who was on the book club. She was there talking about her book. She only sold 1,000 books. And it was because she actually wasn't ready for the opportunity. She was a great writer, but she didn't have any skills for media to really get her message out there. And many people think because they've been speakers for years that they automatically have those skills. And I can tell you that's not absolutely true. We want to be in the media to get our message out there. I have one author, Donna Fox. She wrote a book about credit repair. And she said she could always tell when I replayed her show, her episode of my show, The Right Place TV show, the episode that she was on, she could always tell it replayed because she would see the sales in Amazon go up on her book. And she knew that that show was in rotation. So media is something I really want you to think about and consider adding to your arsenal when you're doing outreach, when you're getting your message out there, when you're advertising. Media is not an ad all the time, but it's part of promoting your message and a little bit of advertising. It's a cousin of advertising and marketing. PR is kind of a cousin of advertising and marketing. So you want to include PR. You don't want to say, that's too complicated, or I don't feel like hiring someone. You want to include PR. Now you can hire a press, person to get you out there, a professional PR person. But if you're not ready for it, it won't matter. They won't be able to do much. They'll get you on a few shows. Word will get around that you're not a great guest, and it won't work. You will have wasted your money. So not only do you have to have the outreach and connections, but you really have to have the skills inside of you. It's harder and harder to get into media because they're really looking for polished people. There's a lot of competition out there. And the producers of the shows have to bring on guests that are just dynamite, dynamite, dynamite. And just really ready for the opportunity. And if you find yourself struggling to even get ready for your speaking events, you're going to need some media training to be ready for a media event. So when it comes to live television, when it comes to even Google Hangouts are starting to be a little bit more like television than just a speaking gig. And people are looking at Hangouts like they watch television. They'll binge watch television shows online, and they'll binge watch Google Hangouts online too. So I love to work with people who are looking to get into the media a little bit more. I can help you prepare for it and help you make some connections. I'm going to tell you a little later on about a pitch event we have coming up, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. A pitch event is what we used to do is we used to have these conferences where we have all the media there, and you would pay to come to the conference, and you would get to meet with the different media and pitch yourself as a great guest for whatever media that was. Well, over time, recession, people stopped doing it. Well, now we're going to do it, but we're going to do it with a new twist. We're going to do it online. So you don't have to travel, the media doesn't have to travel, and yet I can connect both of you for a great interview and exposure for you. So I'll tell you about that in a little bit. All I want you to do is go to virtualnetworkinglive.com and let's put in pound pitch. Just put in pound pitch. I'll know that you're talking about what I'm talking about. We're talking about pitching. We're talking about getting in front of the media. We're talking about taking your message to the masses quickly, like that. Okay, so here's a couple of tips I want to share with you because you might be doing some media between now and the time I get to work with you. Number one, I want you to learn how to create sound bites. Sound bites are short, pithy sentences that have information yet they intrigue. They're going to give the host a chance to ask you to tell them more. See, when you're on a show, you don't want to be talking, so the person says, okay, wait, we got to have a break. You've got to know how to put the information out there and stop. That gives the host time to interject a question and ask you more, or go in the direction that they know that their audience wants to go. But your goal is not to talk until the end, until they go to commercial. So that's one thing a lot of speakers have trouble with. They talk, they don't know where to stop, and they don't know how to create sound bites. So sound bites are really useful. They're also useful for the show because if they want to promote you, they can take that little sound bite and fit it into a commercial. Yeah, fit you. When you hear those little clips of people talking on the radio and on TV, Those are sound bites. All right. Number two, when you talk about your book or reference your book, that's awesome. But you don't want to be the person on the show going, yeah, well, that's in my book. You buy my book and you'll find out all how to do that. That's a great question. It's in my book, blah, blah, blah. Listen, you can't share too much information out of your book. Don't be scared to share information from your book. If they can listen to you talk about your book on one show and get all of the information out of your book, then you probably don't have very much information in your book. You don't have to worry about people. They can't grasp all of that information. They can just get enough to know that they need to buy your book. So be very, very, very generous with telling people information from your book. Okay? Because when you say, hey, it's in my book, and this is how I talk about it. In chapter 5, I tell you that you need to do A, and you need to do B, and you need to do C. Then when you tell them what's in the book and you tell them some specific things, they will want to go back and buy your books. Look at some of the great interviews that you like. You can go on TV and just put down, you can go on TV, of course, and look at the daytime shows. But look at the daytime shows and see what they're doing. Go on YouTube and see some of the interviews. Some of the best interviews, the authors share a lot from their book. They're not worried about it because the audience is not going to retain so much that they no longer need the book from your talk. What they're going to do is they're going to be so fired up, they're going to actually go and buy it. Number 3, the goal with media is to be asked back. Asked back. Asked back. Now, the goal is not super sales. The goal is to be asked back. If you were so good that the people say, hey, we'd love to have you back, that means that you get to come back to their audience again. So the 50,000 people that heard you the first time, they get to hear you again. And if you become a resource for a show, you become their resource. Anytime this topic comes up, you're the person that they call. You become a trusted person to their audience. And you always have access to their audience. And you can always sell to their audience. See, we want an open door. We want to be asked back. We don't want a one-time hit and try to sell as many books as we can. You want to capture that audience. And it's going to take more than one appearance to capture that audience. You've got to be a regular. So remember, your goal is to be such a fantastic guest, to bring so many people to the market, to be so encouraging and interesting and teaching the audience, giving the audience what they want, that you get asked back. Ding! That is the touchdown. That's the winner. And I want you to think about that for blogs also. You can be asked back for another interview or for input, or there's just all kinds of different ways all of the media can use you. But you want to become their resource. Anytime that they think of X, Y, and Z, you want to be the person that they think of. Okay? So you want to be what? Asked back. Put pound, I want to be asked back in the virtualnetworkinglive.com. Virtualnetworkinglive.com will take you to our elusive, exclusive Facebook page. Virtualnetworkinglive.com is where you can put pound, I want to be asked back. And this lets me know who's listening, who's a part of it, and of course, I appreciate all of that. So let's talk about media exposure and your sales, because that's what you really want to know. Media exposure and sales can work when the audiences see you over and over again. Think about Tim Ferriss. When his new book comes out, he is on every freaking show you can think of. He is just on this show, and this show, and this show, and this show. Well, all of those are exposure compounded. There's nothing wrong with being in a lot of shows. You really can't be overexposed. And that's where the sales come in, because some of those same people overlap. And when they see you in several different places, they begin to trust you and they begin to buy from you. That's a fantastic place to be. But you do have to build on that. It's not instant. You have to build on it. And you have to get used to doing media in a way that makes you look trustworthy. Some people are doing media the way they do their on-stage speaking live. And some of the issues don't work the same. Some of the techniques don't work the same on film and television as they do on stage. And selling from the back room on television, quote unquote, from the back room, selling on television works differently. There's a way to put together your ask. And rarely does any show want you saying, and buy my thing for $19.99 and go get that. And they want it to be very smooth, very natural. And really, they want to be the one to say, hey, go check out so-and-so's book at www.whatever.com. If the host of the show gives out your domain and how to get there, you will have more sales than if you say, hey, go buy my book and you'll get this freebie and freebie and freebie and freebie. We're so anxious to get on somebody's show and tell people, go run over to Amazon and get my book. Run to my website and get my book. We're so anxious to do it ourselves because that's where we do it on stage. But the real money is in the host of the event saying, you know, this is a great deal. They've got this book. They've got this and that. You really need to go pick it up. That's where your sales comes from. So we want to go for it. We want to prepare ourselves. We want to pitch. There's a certain way that you pitch. There's a certain way to talk to media to let them know that you're available, and you've got to know how to do that. Okay? You've got to know the difference between the timelines for a magazine and the timelines for a newspaper. A timeline for a television show and a timeline for... I used to hear people all the time, yeah, I'm sending Oprah a letter, I'm pitching, to be in her show. Well, they would be on hiatus. So you have to know things like that. You have to know, is the show even in production? Is anybody going to take your mail, or is it just going to sit there for a couple of months because everybody's off on vacation? So you've got to understand how pitching works and, once you reach somebody, what to say to them. What are they looking for? I will tell you this. You do have to make it for each show. You have to make your pitch complete for each show and their audience. And one of the easiest things to do that people never do, I know they never do it, is they hear about a show and they don't go investigate it. You need to go online and watch or listen to the show you want to be on before you pitch to people. I'll meet somebody and say, hey, I'm the host of the Right Place television show. And they'll say, oh, you have your own show? Yes, I have my own show. And I say, I have somebody perfect for you. Now, they never heard of me 5 minutes before. They've never seen the show, but they have somebody perfect for the show. You don't even know what my show is about. So if you just take a few minutes and say, oh, great, I'll check out your show, and then go back and contact them, it'll be much, much better. Because you can go and say, they talk about business. I talk about business. That's a good match. Or, they talk about childcare. I don't talk about childcare. That's not a good match. See, you're not a good match for every single show. It needs to be the same type of tribe that you're trying to reach. So if you are trying to reach people who take care of children, then maybe it's a good match, depending on what your business is. I have no idea. But you've got to watch the show, see what their thing is about, see how they move, see what they like to talk about. What do their audiences respond to? And then make a pitch. And the pitch has to be, I have something great for your audience. Who you are and what you have and why it's good for their audience. Not why it's good for you because you're so great and you need to be on the show. You need to talk to them about their audience. They care about their audience, and you need to care about their audience also. So when you pitch, you also want to talk about what is the segment going to look like. When I pitch and say I'm going to talk about crowdfunding, I tell the producers, hey, I'm just going to talk about crowdfunding 101 and just give some general ideas about crowdfunding. Or I'm going to specifically teach on crowdfunding and how the videos should be. And we're going to do some examples. And I tell the producers what the segment's going to look like. I take that weight off of their mind so that they know what I have in mind and see if it's a match. If you're waiting for a producer to come up with your segment, it's not going to happen. Only the superstars, get that. Brad Pitt gets that. But you can make it easy. Help them help you. Give them the segment. Go into the virtual Networking Live group and put pound, give them the segment. Or pound segment. Pound segment. You have to tell them what the segment's going to look like. That means you have to have it thought out about what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, and what it's going to look like. Okay? These are the types of things that, we cover in Instant Star Maker. I'm also going to give you a heads up. Showtime Academy is coming. You can put in the virtual networking book room, virtual networking live. You can go there and put Showtime Academy is coming. Pound Showtime Academy is coming. And I want to invite you to two things. Very simply, I'd love for you to attend our open pitch night. This month, we're going to be in front of 5 different media, and you'll get a chance to pitch. And I'll tell you how to do that. Also, I want you to keep in mind that Showtime Academy is coming. We've got a whole academy coming up for you where we are going to show you step by step how to work with the media, how to get into the media, and how to create opportunities for yourself with real broadcast shows. Right Place TV Show is a real show. It's syndicated to 65 million homes on Dish On Demand. And there are other real shows that you can get on, many real shows that you can get on. So we're not talking about you doing your own thing in front of just you and your camera and you and your family looking at it. You got 5 people looking at it. We're looking at really getting exposure to media, but we're also talking about absolutely being ready for it. Because when you're ready for it, you'll get it over and over and over again. So, to join us for the open pitch night, it's easy. You're going to text me at 909-235-9744. And you're going to text the word pitch. I'm going to send you the link to the website, where to sign up, and how to get me the information so I can prep you for the media that's going to be there. So you're just going to text to 909-235-9744. Text word pitch to 909-235-9744. And what's going to happen is that you'll be on the list. You'll get a link for some more information and be able to sign up so that you can pitch. All of this is free. You can watch, but you know what? Heaven is going to reward those who take action. So watching is fine, but pitching is way better. And so you're going to text to me 909-235-9744. You're going to text the word pitch. And I'll also give you a heads up about Showtime Academy so that you have that information for you. Listen, it's been great spending time with you. If you need to expand your message a little faster, if you know how much media can explode your business, then let's do this. I'll see you at 909-235-9744. And remember what I always say, ignoring one's conscience is neither safe nor right. And I'll see you next time.
Rather than love, rather than money, rather than fame, give me truth. That was a quote by Henry David Thoreau. Hi, my name is Mercedes Hawkins, and I too am a naturalist who believes in looking for truth in nature. I have studied sciences, meta-sciences, quantum physics, all the sciences. When you see the word meta, it means higher sciences. So it's a good thing because like atoms in electricity that we don't see, it still exists. So try not to get bugged out over meta-science. It's the ultimate truth, and that's how the law of attraction operates. Now, because I have been studying metaphysics, quantum physics, and meta-sciences, I have been helping a lot of people, in the social networks. And of course, now they come to me and depend on me for personal development. I have always been a problem solver. So when I worked for different companies, whether it was a government, whether it was a corporation or a nonprofit, I have always solved the problems. Now I'm having to work for myself in order to continue helping people. What I found out also about health is in wealth. Mostly we're talking about the truth about wealth.
what I found out about wealth is that you can have health, you can have wealth, but your health can be bad, so that's not a good thing. So in a way, health becomes more important, as well as relationships. I do believe that health, knowing yourself, knowing about you, and knowing how the world operates, the nature of the world, the nature of the universe and the cosmos, just self-knowledge alone can lead to health, wealth, and your destiny. They go hand in hand. So if you are listening, I want you to go to the private, elusive, exclusive group, www.virtualnetworkinglive.com, and I want you to type this. Money does not buy happiness. Wealth does. In fact, my motto is self-knowledge leads to health, wealth, and your destiny. I created the Crystal Code production company, which was born out of an idea. It's a logo that I had seen in a vision. And as you see my fingers, this is how the diamonds were shaped. They were crystals. I had never seen crystals before, especially the ones that have a pyramid at the top and at the bottom. And it came in a vision. And so as I asked the boys, this is my symbol? And the boy said yes. And I said, what does it stand for? And he said, look it up. So as I looked it up, I found out that it is the ultimate symbol of wealth, but it means to be fearless, and it also means to be strong, and it helped me to become very strong. And I needed that because I was going through some things. So what I bring to you is life, letting inevitable fortune exist. That's what life stands for, letting inevitable fortune exist. Because I feel like life creates in abundance. And I feel that the more I look at life, the more I notice that we were all meant to be rich. If you study the universe, you see that everything exists in abundance. But rich is not what we all think it is. Because perhaps you can think of some rich people that are not happy, they're very unhappy. Many people pursue riches only to find that it is elusive. For example, you can think of people from all over the world who see the United States as a land paved with like gold. The roads are paved with gold. And so they come here and they think, wow, I'm going to be rich. But they find that you have to work really hard. And in working really hard, they send money back home. Then they got to work harder in order to go on vacation. Then they go back home to vacation. Then they work harder to retire. And then they go back home to retire. Which is going full circle. It's crazy. But that happens in many cases. And they're not the only ones who think that. The conquistadors who came over here also thought that the streets were paved with gold. And so the sad part is that they were thinking with their left brain as far as spirituality goes. They weren't thinking with their right brain. The conquistadors were searching for this tantamount, as far as searching for gold, it was tantamount to a bottomless pit. And I'm thinking right now of Erich Fromm, who says greed is a bottomless pit in which a person exhausts an endless effort to satisfy the need without ever finding satisfaction. So no, a lot of rich people don't find satisfaction because they don't know the difference between being rich and being wealthy. There is a difference. So how many of you know people who are unsatisfied and are wealthy? We all do. I can think of Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, Howard Hughes, and Whitney Houston off the top of my head. So in my mind, I'm thinking that a lot of people that have money may not have relationships. They may not have friends. They may not be happy with their families. Some people may not have spirituality. It depends on what it is people are looking for. So to me, wealth has a lot to do with being around family. Wealth has a lot to do with having spirituality. You know, and if the friends are good friends, of course, we would include friends in that picture. The idea of materialism is a sure way to remain broken in spirit. Who said that? I did. Now I'm quoting myself. And yes, you can quote me. You can go to the private, elusive, exclusive group, virtualnetworkinglive.com, and write, not without the hashtag, and write, the idea of materialism is a sure way to remain broken in spirit. That's me, Mercedes Hawkins, quoting myself. Okay, so another person who spoke about wealth and happiness was Goldie Hawn. And yes, we can quote people who are still alive. This is what Goldie Hawn said when she visited India. I noted that the people are very happy in India. When I went back home, the people had everything. She's talking about the United States. In terms of materialistic status, they were surrounded by abundance, but yet were happy. So you see, the point that I'm making is that she's right. You can have a lot of money, but like in India, where people may have been poor, or in the Caribbean, where people may be poor and run around barefooted, they're happy. My experience is this. Whether you're on dirt floor, barefoot, or whatever, if you have a relationship, if you have family, you have spirituality, you can be happy. And of course, a lot of people feel like money is the root of all evil, but I disagree. I feel poverty is the root of all evil. For us, despite being stripped down on everything, we still remained happy. You know, despite our gold taken away in the land with petroleum, we were still happy. We still have that in us, because there are certain people that you can take them out of their element, put them in a whole different continent, stripped of everything, and they can still build empires like Donald Trump. Okay? Now, what happens is people are jerks. Whether people are rich, they just become bigger jerks. If you're greedy and you have money, you just become a greedy person with money. If you are a giver and you have money, you become charitable. You give away things. You find charity. You become a philanthropist. If you are spiritual and you have money, you become more of a spiritualist person. In other words, it makes you more of what you are. So what I want you to do right now is go to the private, elusive, exclusive group, virtualnetworkinglive.com, and write, it makes you more of what you are. You can put money makes you more of what you are, or you can use the word it makes you more of what you are, whichever you prefer. Okay? Now, yes, our family has lost fortune, but we are still who we are. My experience with my ex, I want to tell you a story about my ex, because he thought with his left brain and was materialistic, and I hate to say it, but a jerk. When I think about our relationship, we traveled a lot. So to me, when I think of him, I think that life is like a hotel. When we were married, we were traveling to different hotels, and we would stay in these different hotels as we traveled. And I remember I had a card, which was for a massage, and I was thinking, wow, I cannot use it because I have to watch the children. And we were in the hotel, and he said, don't worry. He had his glass, and he said, don't worry, I got this. I'll watch the children. And I said, you sure? And he said, yeah, I got this. You ever met somebody who said, I got this, and then they really don't have it? Well, that's what happened. So I get my massage, but when I come back, I found my baby. She's not really a baby, she was a toddler. But my baby was on top of this bathroom sink, falling. She wasn't falling, she was diving into the toilet. And I hear this sound coming from the left, and I see that my middle daughter is on top of the table. You know those hotel places that have this desk lamp and a table. She's falling from the table onto the floor. And I look to the left when I hear a rumble, and I see that my son is on top of the curtains. So quickly I turn into an octopus. I knew I had to act quickly. So with my right foot, I catch my daughter, you know, right on top where the shoe is, and I grab her like this with my left foot. And with my right foot, I catch my other daughter, my middle daughter, who's falling off the table, and with both of my hands, I grab my son. I didn't know my body could stretch so far, but you know, when you're in an emergency situation, have you ever done this, miraculous events? Well, I turned into Neo, like in the Matrix movie, going in slow motion. And then my eyes honed in on my husband, like, what are you doing? And with his glasses on, he's like, oh, reading a newspaper, oblivious, totally oblivious to what was going on. So with my neo eyes, as in the Matrix, I hone in on the walls, and I noticed there were all kinds of red spots. I'm honing in because I'm looking at all these red spots, and I'm trying to figure out what they are. And they're over the toilet too. Well, I found that these red spots were Kool-Aid, red Kool-Aid. I knew I had to act fast to clean it up, and I said, honey, we got to clean up this mess. It's going to take some hot water. I need a hose. I said, I need a hose with hot water to hose this down. And he goes, with his glasses again, pulls them down, and he goes, don't worry, the maid will clean it up. Of course, I'm insulted because my mother had been a maid, cleaning up for the Kennedys. And I'm thinking, nope, I'm going to clean up this mess. How many of you ever turned into your mother? My sister used to be so embarrassed whenever she would go out with my mom, because after she ate, she would clean up. And she said, that's that maid coming out of her. And so I found that I have turned into my mom. Here I'm cleaning up this hotel of this group. But I still haven't found my hose. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where is she going to find a hose with hot water in a hotel? So I knock. And this white guy opens the door with a hat on. I could tell he was rich because he had on a Hawaiian shirt. And I said, do you have a hose with hot water? And he goes, yes. But why do you need one at a hotel? And I said, because my children are drowning. So he started telling me about his daughter, how she's so unhappy. And I said, well, I would love to hear, but my children are drowning. I got to go. And he goes, wait, if your children are drowning, why do you need water? Adding water to H2O. So I grabbed the hose. It's an emergency. I go back to my hotel room and I go swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. And I start cleaning it up. And after I clean it up, I couldn't help but think about my mom and all the different things that she went through as a maid. And living in the Dominican Republic and just having to take my brother. One time my brother got really sick and she had to take him to the hospital on her shoulder. We didn't have a car, so she's walking really fast, really fast. She was walking so fast she beat the cab to the hospital. And my brother was dying, but because of her walking so fast, she was able to save his life. And in looking at this, I'm thinking, money is not the root of all evil. Poverty is the root of all evil. Because if I had not been poor, my daughter would not have died at the hands of my abusive husband. I would not have been dependent on him in an abusive relationship. I would have had money to escape with. Had we not been poor, my brother would have been in a cab getting to the hospital. Poverty totally is the root of all evil. And so with that being said, what I want to do, this is my why. I would like to go to different parts of the world, make sure everybody has clean water, that is sanitized, that doesn't cause diarrhea, and that there are public toilets everywhere. I remember visiting Dominican Republic one time, and I used to go to the bathroom, and there were very few bathrooms. So I want to make sure, I believe health is important to everyone, and I want everybody to be healthy in any part of the world, whatever part of the world you're in. So that is my why for doing what I do and being the way I am. I see the world, and here's another reason why I believe that poverty is the root of all evil. If you have a Bible, you know that Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 through 30, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't want to have time, but if you go there, you see the story about the 10 talents. And then the 10 talents, he took the talent away. Actually, everybody had a talent. Some had more than others. But one person had that very little talent, had only one talent. He buried his talent under the ground instead of investing it like everybody else. So he was punished for not investing, for not leveraging what he had. And what little he had left was taken from him. That's the proof that poverty is the root of all evil and is frowned upon. So to those who have very little, even that will be taken away. And to those who have a lot, it shall be multiplied because they have invested. They're responsible. They're not into that irresponsibility like the guy who hid the little bit that he did have. Now, if you travel a lot, and we all do because life is a journey, then you know that you're always in a destination, trying to reach a destination, trying to get there. We never arrive. I say life is like a hotel because you either leave the place better or you leave chaos. Some people leave chaos when they leave. They might leave a mess, a dirty mess, or when they leave the earth, when they die, they leave a mess, they leave pollution, they don't leave an inheritance, they leave confusion. And that's why I say life is like a hotel. You should try to leave it better than how you found it. And with that being said, I'm going to close to let you know that if you connected with me, you can contact me at mercedeshawkinsbooks.com. I do coaching, I do personal development, I help you bring a bottom line to whatever company you're in through personal development of your employees. And it creates a salary because happy employees make more money. And so between coaching, between personal development, between all that, I turn vices into virtues. I assess the personality of the people. So I have many skills that I bring to the forefront. I bring high returns at work. I have books, I have CDs, study courses, workbooks. So if you connected with me, you can go to mercedeshawkinsbooks.com. I, as a problem solver, am saying goodbye now. And to some of the people that go to that website, mercedeshawkinsbooks.com, you can get a free PDF, which teaches you to think outside of the box. I do many things. I write books, I do CDs, and poetry. So I have a little bit of everything, if you notice on that site. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy your journey. And I am done. Thank you.
Hey family, it's Terrence, the Unstoppable Coach Leffridge with Unstoppable Coaching Services, and I thank you for the opportunity to come to speak with you this evening about the construction zone. As you can see, it is a warning sign up because we are under construction. You are under construction, and over these next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to show you how you can demolish your negative mentality, clean up your act, and reconstruct your life and your business. But first and foremost, thank you to Shay and to Trevor and to George Frazier for this speaking opportunity, for this platform of Operation Wow. Just the title by itself is just exhilarating, and it just lets you know that something power-packed is about to happen. And for all the other speakers that have been on before me, I'm sure you did an excellent job, and you've been providing motivation and inspiration to everybody who's watching. I am Terrence Leffridge with Unstoppable Coaching Services, and I've been a certified life coach, Christian life coach, now since 2009. But really, I've been coaching people for most of my adult life. I just didn't know what the title was to go along with it. What I like to do is I like to help you create your vision, implement your vision, and take your vision to the next level, holding you accountable for reaching your dreams and living the life that you want to live. But family, I haven't always been unstoppable. Yes, I have had times in my life where I was devastated, where I was full of negativity, and where I didn't know how to live my life or how to run my business in an effective way. So I want to tell you a little story. I lost my good government job in 2009. Yes, that good government job that just overbroke, that everybody on this call can relate to. I had worked for the government for about 10 years. And when that happened in 2009, I was devastated. And I thought, what happened? I thought I'd be there long enough to earn that nice gold watch that I ended up having to buy myself, and that I would retire with a great pension. Everything was going great up to that point. I was earning decent money. I had just gotten married to my beautiful bride in 2002, and we had bought a nice house. And when my 40th birthday came around, I even bought me a nice little fancy car. I had been investing in real estate, and up till 2008, I was doing pretty well. But then the housing crisis came in 2008, and along with that, so did the health of my only sister start to deteriorate. I found myself juggling my job, juggling helping my sister and her kids, being a loving husband, and continuing to do all these things at the same time. I had to choose between that job and being there for my sister and her kids that were going through those health challenges at the time. Finally, in 2009, the proverbial ish hit the fan, and I got fired. Now, family, I was angry. I became bitter. I was full of negative thoughts about negative people, about everybody at my job. How could they do this to me? What did I do to deserve what happened? How become helping my family cost me my job? And not only was I mad at the people at the job, I was mad at my God. I was saying to him over and over and over again, where are you? Why am I going through this? Now, family, that bitterness took over, and it carried me for months. But in the back of my mind, I always heard this small voice. And this small voice was telling me something that I hadn't been listening to. But finally, I decided, I knew that I was going to do more with my life. And if I was going to do more with my life, I'd have to shake that negative mentality. I'd have to shake that victim mentality. Yes, family, I felt like I was a victim of my own situation. Now, many of you probably listening to this call have probably felt victimized in your life. Maybe it was an actual criminal act, and if that was the case, I'm sorry. Maybe it was a job loss, like me. Maybe it was a loss of a family member. In any case, a victim mentality carries on long after the victimization is over. We tend to take the negative act and turn it into a perception of everybody and everything around us has caused us to be a victim, and we're going to take it out on them. My life needed to go under a reconstruction. I needed to demolish my negative mentality, my victim mentality, if I was going to get ahead. I needed to clean up my act if I had any hope of being successful in life and in business. And I had to reconstruct my life and reconstruct my business and turn it into the vision that was going on in my head all along. And so those are the three things that I want to share with you today. How you can put your life and your business under construction. Demolish that negative mentality, clean up your act, and reconstruct your life and turn your business into an unstoppable vision created by you for you. So let's start with the first thing. Let's talk about the demolition process. I already gave you a brief idea of what victim mentality is, but a general definition is it's a learned personality trait where the person regards themselves as a victim of others' negative acts in the absence of clear evidence. I didn't have any clear evidence that my job was out to get me or that my job didn't understand what was going on in my life. If from the outside looking in, they probably was just doing their job, doing their duty. I wasn't living up to their expectations, so they fired me. That's the reality. The story that I may have created may have been that they didn't understand what was going on with my family and they didn't care. So they were just trying to get rid of somebody who had become tenured and made money and had been there for 10 years and replace them with some new person off the street that would cost them thousands of dollars less to do the same job. Again, we were talking about the government, but that's my story. What's your story? What have you set up in your mind as your negative mentality, your victim mentality that may be stopping you from moving forward in your life? Whatever it is, you've got to blow that thing up. The only way you are going to move to having unstoppable visions and unstoppable results is to blow up that negative mentality. And I know from the fact, family, that sometimes the victimization cuts deep and it leaves scars. And I know it will be there with you for a long time. But in my story, in the back of my mind, that voice was still saying to me over and over and over again, go do what you want to do. Go do, Terrence, what you were born to do. Go do, Terrence, that thing for which I created you to do. Now, years earlier, I'd attended an informal class on life coaching. I'd always loved helping people, and I felt that it gave me a good feeling, and it also gave them a good feeling to be able to have someone to listen to them and to give them advice that they could implement and turn into positive actions. People would often tell me that I was also a good listener. So I was intrigued by the class, but I didn't do anything with it at the time. But now, 2009, with the loss of that job, I had the opportunity to give it a try. So that's exactly what I did. In 2009, I went and I got certified as a life coach, and I haven't looked back since. I love what I do. I love working with the clients that I work with. And if you go to my testimonial pages on unstoppablecoaching.com, you'll see that I help my clients and that they get value out of the service that I provide for them. So that's what I needed to demolish. I needed to demolish that negative mentality, and I needed to do something different. What is it in your life that you may need to demolish? Maybe you have thoughts that you can't do a certain thing because you're not good enough. Well, let me tell you, you can, because you are. Maybe you think you have problems with procrastination or accountability. Well, two quick things you can do is take some action now. Whatever it is, just take action right now. And if you're struggling with accountability and a procrastination, get an accountability partner, a coach, a mentor, someone like me who can walk alongside you on your journey to your greatness and to your next level. That's going to help you be more than accountable to yourself. But by being accountable to somebody else, we're more inclined to do the things that we say we're going to do to get the results that we want to get. Maybe you're the person that thinks no always means never. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, and you can put this in the exclusive Elusive Facebook chat room right now, that no equals your next opportunity. I want you to put that in the chat room right now. No equals your next opportunity. That's all it is. The more no's you get, the closer you are getting to your yes. And you know, family, I love acronyms. So if I got an acronym for no, you know I've got an acronym for yes. So here it is. Yes equals your expected success. So the more no's you get, that's just your next opportunity to get to your expected success. And you've got to use that power that's within you. You've got to use all those no's, all those next opportunities to build the success that you want for yourself. So when you blow up that negative mentality, the possibilities are endless to you having your next opportunity to receive the success that you want to receive. So that's the first part, family. You've got to demolish your negative mentality. But then after you do the demolition, In any demolition, there's a lot of stuff left behind that you've got to clean up. So here's the cleanup process. It's time to dig yourself out of the rubble and clean up your space. It's time to build a new foundation based on new blueprints. But first, you got to get rid of some things. What some things you have to get rid of? Well, you know the saying that you can't do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results. You've got to be willing to change some things. First thing I suggest you change is you change your mind. When I became a coach, I knew I was walking in my purpose. I knew that I no longer needed someone else's job to validate me or to acknowledge the skills and gifts that God had given me. I became confident in who I was and what I was born to do. And so when you change your mind, you can have that same revelation that you are not dictated to, or you are not defined by that job that just overbroke. You can have the power to create the business that you want to create, the way you want to do it, and have the success that you want to have, as long as you believe it first. You got to believe it in the mind before you can do it in the real world. So instead of saying and spending time on who you were, I want you to start thinking about who you can be. So after you change your mind, then you got to change your circle of influence. Those people around you that you associate with, that you hang out with, those may be the people that are keeping you where you are right now. And if that's a place that you like, then God bless you. But if that is not a place that you're happy with, then you need to think about the people that you're associating with. Someone said once that if you show me a broke person, I'll show you a bunch of broke friends. And that's so very true. Are you hanging around people that have no desire to go anywhere but where they are? Then you need to get out of there. Are you going places where you're always the smartest person in the room? Then you need to change your address. You want to be in position and around people that stretch you, that allow you and force you to grow. You want to be in situations where you are sometimes uncomfortable, because out of uncomfortableness comes growth. When a seed is planted in the ground, it's planted in dark places. It has no idea what's going on or what's going to happen next. It has no idea when the rain is coming or when it's going to be too hot or when it's going to be too cold. And it's uncomfortable. And what's inside of the seed says that I need to get out. And so when it cracks out of its shell and it digs through the dirt and it rises up to the top, all we see is that beautiful rose that came from that seed. Right now, you are in seed living life, and it's time for you to break out. But you've got to clean up. You've got to move away the dirt so that you can rise above. And changing your circle of influence, putting yourself around people who are where you want to be or who are doing the things that you want to do, that's going to help you bloom into that beautiful rose and have the business that you want to have. So if you are looking to be a life coach, for example, then you need to hang around me or other successful life coaches and model our behavior and do the things that we do and research how we got to where we got to, learning our struggles and learning our successes. If you're trying to start your own business, then you need to research that industry and see what it actually takes to be a part of that business and to be and run a successful business, so that you know up front the dirt that you're going to have to move out of the way in order to be successful. So I've told you about changing your mind, and I've told you about changing your circle of influence. But finally, in order to clean up your act, you're going to have to change your habits. Yes, we have a lot of bad habits. And through this process of you trying to find yourself and go through personal development and go through business development, you've probably learned that you've got a few bad habits that you need to change. Let's see if any of these speak to you. Learn to listen more and talk less. And if you're watching this presentation right now, then you have a desire to want to learn more. And I congratulate you on that. I applaud you for that. And if you've been watching all day, I applaud you for your tenacity, for you wanting to have it more than life itself. But when we listen more and talk less, we learn. And that's important. Number 2, turn off the TV. Many dreams are lost in the idiot box. Invest that time that you use sitting up watching TV or seeing what's happening on the Real Housewives of Atlanta or what's happening on the news, which is mostly negativity, which blends back into your negative mentality. Use that time to invest in yourself and your business. Use that time to research the things you need to research. Use that time to learn social media. Use that time to learn the different tools, like the tools we're using right now to virtually reach the masses online and live and in person. When you use that time to invest in yourself, you are taking yourself to a different place. You are changing your mindset. You are changing your habits, and ultimately, you're going to have the success that you want to have. So you've got to change your mind, you've got to change your circle of influence, and then you've got to change your habits. That way, you are going to be ready for the third phase of this construction process, and that's reconstructing your life or your business. You've blown up that negative mentality, and you've cleaned up your act, changing things in the process. Now it's time to build your life and your business back up. And I'm going to give you some quick tips on how to do that, and then I'm going to get out of the way for the next speaker. Again, I thank you guys for this time that you've allotted me. But what you do in the reconstruction process makes all the difference in the world. So when you're reconstructing your business, you need a blueprint. You need to know where you want to go. You need to know what goes where and when it goes there. And the best way that I can think of to reconstruct your life or to reconstruct your business is what I call the CRM. CRM stands for Finding a Confidence Role Model. A confidence role model is that person, place, or thing that you visualize yourself being one day. By looking at that person, place, or thing and modeling their behavior or doing the things that they do that are obviously successful because they're at a place that you want to be, then you will ultimately become successful as well. Someone who's living the life that you want or doing the things that you want to do, you want to model their behavior. A good example for me is that as a motivational speaker, I always looked up to Martin Luther King Jr. When I was a little kid in school, we would always, during Black History Month, have a speech competition. And I would always want to do one of Dr. Martin Luther King's speeches. I remember watching the old videotape of him from 1963 on the March on Washington when he did his I Have a Dream speech. And I always wanted to have the same inflection that he had when I spoke it. I always wanted to stand and confidently hold the podium like I remember him doing that fateful day. And I always wanted to command the audience that was in front of me. He was so powerful in his speech that I modeled his behavior. And that's what helps me to be the speaker that I am today. Not necessarily on his caliber yet, but reaching for that goal. So whatever it is you're trying to do, find someone who's already doing it and model their behavior. Or better yet, do the second thing, which is hire a coach. That goes back to what we're talking about in investing in yourself. Hire somebody who can teach you the things you need to learn, that's going to accelerate your learning curve. Why go through all the struggles and all the failures that happen in starting a business when you can hire someone who can help you avoid those pitfalls above and beyond, and that they can move you to where you need to be sooner rather than later? One of the things I mentioned, or I failed to mention when I talked about change your habits, was work smarter, not harder. And when you hire a coach like myself, that person is going to help you work smarter, not harder. So we talked about get that confidence role model, and we talked about investing in yourself by hiring a coach. But you may also want to go to different events, like if you are trying to start a business, or say you're a union carpenter or you're a general contractor, then you need to go to events where general contractors hang out and network, pass out your business cards, talk about what it is you're trying to do, maybe even start a joint venture. That way, your business is being promoted not by yourself, but by somebody else as well. Investing in yourself, working smarter, not harder, is going to help you reconstruct your business and make it what it is you want it to be. And then finally, family, the last thing that I can give you, the last nugget I can give you in reconstructing your life or your business is what my mama used to always tell me as I was growing up. She would say, Terrence, sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. Put that in the chat room. Fake it till you make it. Hashtag fake it till you make it. Well, Coach Terrence, what do you mean by fake it till you make it? I mean that sometimes you have to walk and talk as if you are the person you already intend to be. When I did my first speaking engagement, nobody really knew who I was. That was good because nobody knew that I had never spoke anywhere else before. It was all in my presentation. I came out there like I was a seasoned veteran, like I had been speaking for years. But inside, I was scared to death. I was uncomfortable. But because I faked it until I made it, because I carried that attitude that said, I am already Mr. Unstoppable, I came out there and I was unstoppable, and I am unstoppable to this day. So whatever it is you want to do, whoever it is you want to be, start walking and talking like that person right now. I want you to say to yourself that you are unstoppable. You can be, and you are the person that you've already planned to be, the person you were born to be. I was sitting at a coffee shop waiting to interview a local celebrity here who had just been inducted into the African American Hall of Fame for all her work with women's professional basketball. And I was kind of dressed like I am right now, maybe a little bit more casual because it was Sunday. And out of the blue, this gentleman walked up to me and he said, you know what? You look like a professional person. You look like a person that is just the right person for this opportunity I want to talk to you about. Now, he was in a multi-level marketing company that I was very familiar with, but it wasn't necessarily for me right now. But that's not the point. The point was because I dressed the part, because I was dressed for success, because I had the air of confidence and professionalism, he offered me an opportunity. And there's that next opportunity, that no again that I was talking to you about. And I was able to not only talk to him, but to talk to his girlfriend who was also in a company. And it was a new networking opportunity just because I faked it till I made it. Just because I did the things to show people that I am already the person I am intended to be. And so that's what I want you to do. I want you to be able to feel like you're the person you're already aspiring to be. The person on purpose, the person on task, the person who is living the life of their dreams. You are unstoppable, family. All you've got to do is believe it, demolish that negative mentality, clean up your act, and reconstruct your life to make it the best life ever. Because as I like to say, why would you ever settle for less when you can be unstoppable? That's my time, family. I'm Terrence, the Unstoppable Coach Lethridge with UnstoppableCoaching.com. That's where you can reach me. It's right there on the whiteboard behind me. Sign up now and you can get my free ebooks that talk about unstoppable confidence and unstoppable motivation. All you got to do is go to the homepage at www.unstoppablecoaching.com. And if you're interested in getting private one-on-one coaching from me so that we could help you create your unstoppable vision and give you unstoppable results in 2014 and beyond, go to my website and sign up for my pre-screening. It's a free 30-minute conversation where we'll get to know what it is you're trying to do, what your vision is, help you get laser focused, and move you to the next level of your greatness. Family, I don't want you to just have a great week. I want you to have an unstoppable week. And Shay, Trevor, and George, thank you again for this opportunity. Have a great day.
Hello there, and welcome to the WOW presentation. I know you have heard some incredible speakers, or if you haven't yet, you're in store for that. My name is Velton Schall, and I'm here today to talk to you about transformation. Transform your thinking, and you can transform your world. You know, many years ago when I started my sales career, I really wanted to excel. I wanted to be a sales professional. And at the time, I didn't really understand what it took. And at the time that I started and asked the question, what do I need to do? How do I get to where I want to go? I was met with apprehension. I was met with people who said, Felton, we just don't think you're sales material. We don't think you have what it takes. And you know, that's a humbling experience. That's something that each and every one of us deals with in our lifetime. At some point in our life, we're rejected. Think about the last time that you wanted something. You wanted a position, you wanted a relationship, you wanted to talk to someone, or maybe even purchase a car or a home, and someone said, you're not qualified. We don't think you're ready. You have to dig deep. You had to think, and you had to regroup. And that's what happened to me. That's what happens to all of us at some point in our lives. We have to regroup. We have to rethink things, and we have to change. And you know, one of my favorite sayings that I've adopted as a mantra is transform your thinking and you can transform your world. And as you go through that process, the first thing that you have to do is change. You have to change something about you, what you do, how you do it, the people that you associate with, the knowledge that you have, the skill set that you have. And you know, I was sitting outside a couple of weeks ago, and I was watching the little girl next door. And she rides her bike, or was learning to ride a bike. And she started with a tricycle. You know, and a tricycle is only able to take you so far. And she rode around her driveway. She rode back and forth and up and down. But she would stop and watch the kids, the older kids, ride up and down the street with their two-wheel bikes. They were hitting it. They were going fast. They were having a good time. They were laughing and joking. And all she could do is sit on the side and watch. You know, in our lives, many times, we want to play at the higher level. We want to perform at another level, but we don't have the knowledge base or the skill set yet that will allow us to play at that level. And we have to take the time to regroup. We have to take the time to practice, to bring ourselves to a level that will allow us to perform in the format that we really want to. And this little girl decided that it was time that she stepped up. And her dad brought her her first two-wheel bike. And she was overjoyed and she was happy and she just couldn't wait to get on that bike. And she got up on the bike and she started to pedal. And she looked down and she saw something that made her comfortable, training wheels. You know, when I talked about my sales career and when I started. When I started as a salesperson and the training and getting me ready, I had other salespeople that were helping me. They were guiding me. They were teaching me. And they were helping me develop into an independent salesperson. And they were like those training wheels that little girl had. Those training wheels were helping her develop her skills, gain her balance, gain the understanding of what it took to transition from a tricycle to a two-wheel bike. And as she rode with her training wheel, she became more and more confident. And I remember looking at her and thinking how, as I went through the training exercises, I became more confident and more comfortable as a sales professional. But the one thing that I also remembered was the comfort of having someone else who knew a little bit more than I did, or sometimes knew a lot more than I did, help me. This little girl had daddy. You know, all little girls love having daddy around. I know my daughter does, and you, those of you who have daughters, know how they are with their daddy. And daddy was helping her develop, just like those salespeople were helping me develop. And daddy would guide her and talk to her and teach her. And at one point, daddy removed the training wheels because he recognized that his little girl was ready to take it to the next level, ready to do what she had dreamed of doing. So daddy removed the training wheels and he continued to teach, to guide, to help her develop. And as she developed, she became more confident. She became more independent. She started to ride faster, you know. And as a salesperson, I remember myself taking a step, doing a little bit more, not waiting for my guide and my helpers to be there to help me. And this little girl continued to grow. But every now and then, she would turn around and she'd look for daddy's hand on the back of that seat and say, "Hey, daddy, you got me? Are you holding on? Because without you, I'm uncomfortable." How many times in your life do you step out there? Do you really push ahead? Do you push the envelope and go beyond the norm? You know, Zig Ziglar had a saying that I love, and it says, "Fear has killed more dreams than failure ever could." And this little girl had a dream of riding in the street with the other kids, but fear kept her looking behind her, looking for daddy's hand on the back of that seat, so that if she faltered, if she swerved, if she fell, that he would catch her. And you know, every now and then daddy would let go, and every now and again she'd fall. And she'd get up, she'd turn around, look at daddy and say, "Hey, you're supposed to catch me." And daddy said to her, "You're okay, get back on." When life knocks you down, there are going to be days where you're going to have to get up, brush yourself off, and get back on and get to riding. And that's what this little girl did. She got up, got back on her bike, and started riding. Another one of my favorite quotes says that you don't drown by falling in the water. You drown by staying there. And if she hadn't gotten back up and brushed herself off and got back on that bike, she would have never learned how to take her performance to the next level. You need to get up, brush yourself off, get back on that bike and ride and take your performance to the next level. That's what change is all about. And as you change, you transform. And there are 3 additional points to transformation. The first of the 4 is change. The second is commitment. Because when you start to change, you have to understand that everybody's not going to understand the changes that you're going through. There are going to be naysayers. There are going to be people who tell you that you don't need to do that. You don't need to change. You should stay where you are because you're doing a great job. You know, there are people all over this country that go to work every day. But before they go to work, they get up in the morning, they have a headache. They have a headache, they're sick, they take their blood pressure medicine, they hate their job. They don't like what they do, but they're not willing to change. They're not willing to commit to something else because they're comfortable. Think about people that you know that retire from a job and every day you ask them, how's work? Oh, I hate it. I don't like it. You say, well, where do you go? Well, it's a job and I make good money. I'm here to tell you that there's a better way and a commitment to living your dream will take you and transform you to a new life. You know, I remember a good friend of mine, his name was Rick, and Rick had a dream. At the time that Rick started to implement his dream, he was a top general manager in the hotel industry. He was the general manager of one of the most successful hotels in the United States, a hotel that was running almost 90% occupancy on an annual basis. But Rick was unfulfilled. He wanted something different. He was the general manager, but he had a boss. He had someone he had to report to, but he wanted to be independent. He wanted to be his own boss, and he had a dream. And he sat down with his wife one day, and they started to develop a plan. And they started to talk about a different life in a different way. And many of his friends said, "You're crazy. I can't believe that you would even think about leaving your current situation." I know in my life, I've had to make commitment changes. I've had to do things that even my family came to me and said, "You must be nuts. I can't believe you're doing that." And that's what was happening with Rick. That's what happens with you. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Somebody in your life is going to tell you that it's not meant for you. And guess what? They can't see your dreams because it's not theirs. They were not given that dream to birth that dream. It was yours. It was bestowed upon you. And the story about Rick goes like this. Rick decided to quit his job as the general manager of a major hotel. 6-figure salary. That's why people thought he was crazy. He was making 6 figures, and we're talking probably 25, almost 30 years ago. Unheard of money. But it wasn't fulfilling. He quit his job, and he started a small clothing store. And he started this small clothing store in Baltimore, Maryland. You know, Tony Gaskins has a quote that says, "If you don't take the time to build your dream, someone else will hire you to build theirs. And that's the situation that Rick was in. Someone had hired him to build their dream, but he wanted to birth his own dream. So he set off to start this store in the Inner Harbor of Baltimore, Maryland. Anybody who knows anything about the Inner Harbor of Baltimore, Maryland, back in the 80s and 90s, tourism in that destination was second to Disney World in the country. So he had a built-in market, but it was an area that was full of other boutique stores. So his specialty was women's clothing that was all white. All white women's clothing in Baltimore, Maryland, where 7 months of the year it's cold. Now you know why people said he was crazy. But this man was driven. He was focused. He knew what he wanted to do. And he set out and he started this store. And the store, when I tell you the name of the store, you'll understand the commitment that this man went through. The store was called the White House. Yes, now known as White House Black Market across the country. If he had listened to the people, the naysayers who said, Rick, you're crazy to even think about leaving your current situation, this store, this dream would have never been birthed. He would probably still be a very successful general manager going to a job on a daily basis that he was not being fulfilled in. I say to you, if you have a dream, commit to your dream. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do what you're destined to do. You can't live the life that you want to live because you have the tools. You have what it takes to be whoever and whatever you want to be. But there are things that you have to change and commitments that you have to make. The third of the 4 C's, as I call them, is confidence. You have to have the confidence in yourself and your abilities to be successful when other people don't think you are. Reminds me of the story of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players to ever lace up his sneakers, was cut from his junior high school basketball team. You know, I smile every time I tell this story because I would not want to be the coach who was responsible for cutting Michael Jordan. I don't think you would either. And I don't think he's around publicizing who he is. But think about it. Michael went home and he had a choice to make. He could have sat back and wallowed in his own sorrow. He could have tasted those bitter lemons and just sulked and never played basketball again. But Michael had confidence. And if you hear him speak to this day, he exudes confidence. He knew that he was destined to be great. He had, as my mentor Les Brown said, greatness within him. He took the time, devoted himself to getting better. He was confident that if he practiced, if he did the right things, he could take those bitter lemons and make lemonade. And the next year he went out and he made the varsity basketball team. And the year after that, he was a star. And soon a star at the University of North Carolina. And the rest is history. He was drafted by the Chicago Bulls, took them to 6 championships, MVP multiple years, all-star, leading scorer, all because he was confident in his ability and did not allow other people to create his destiny. You know, there's another saying that I really love it that says, don't let other people's opinion of you become your reality. You have the ability to unlock the door to your dreams. So now there you have it. You have courage, you have commitment, you have change, and you have confidence. I've spoken about confidence, I've spoken about change, and I've spoken about commitment. But you know deep down inside, the one thing that all of us have to have is courage. You have to be courageous. You have to be willing to do things that other people won't, to one day have the things that other people can't. Are you courageous? Are you willing to step out and do something different? I'll tell you, courage is something that is inside of you. It's inside of your heart. I sat in a workshop and seminar maybe a year ago, and I heard a story by a young lady named Liliana. And she has to be one of the most courageous people I've ever met. Liliana was a top performing salesperson in the pharmaceutical industry. She was every year in the President's Club. She was outperforming 80% of the other salespeople in her company. She was doing incredible things. She was invited to every major awards banquet, trip, workshop, you name it, she was there. And on this one occasion, she was invited to an affair in Atlanta, Georgia, and she drove from where she lived to Atlanta. Went to the dinner, got her award, and it was raining, tremendous rainstorm. But she had to drive home. She got in her vehicle, put her award in the back seat, started to drive home. And as she drove, it rained harder. Visibility became very, very poor. And as she drove, she could see in the distance the faint look of the lights of the car in front of her. And as she got closer, she saw the lights blinking. They were blinking back and forth. And as she got closer, she thought that they again went solid because the rain was distorting her view. And as she got closer, she realized that the car had stopped. It was broken down in the middle of the road. She swerved and hit a wall, hit a solid stone wall. That night, Liliana's life changed. That night, her courage shone like it had never done before. Liliana's car was totally destroyed. It was smashed to smithereens. They had to bring in the saws and cut her out of the car. She had to be airlifted from her vehicle to shock trauma. And as she lay in the bed a week and a half to 2 weeks later, she became conscious for the first time. And as she woke up, she saw the wires and the machines and the lights and heard that beeping sound that we hear with life support machines. She had a massive headache and her vision was totally blurred. But for one thing she realized is that her vision was one-sided. And as she woke and stirred, her family called the doctor. The doctor came in and began to tell Liliana that she had been in a major car accident. She'd been in a coma for almost 2 weeks. She had lost an eye, and she had a metal plate that had been placed in her head. What an incredible situation. You know, courage shows up when life seems the most bleak. And in this particular instance, a lady who was a top performer, living the fast life, living the good life, outperforming her profession, receiving bonuses that you can only imagine as a top performing pharmaceutical salesperson. And all of it this night, this day, has changed. Well, Liliana told the story, and as she told the story, many people in the room, including myself, our eyes welled with tears. And as she told the story, she committed to her new vision and her new purpose in life. And her new vision and her new purpose in life took more courage than anything else. She had committed to now becoming a speaker, telling her story, telling other people that there's no reason not to live your dreams. There's no reason not to perform at the highest level. You have what's necessary to be the best that you can be. Life does not end just because you have hit a valley. We all have ups and downs in our lives. We all have situations where we've lost a job, we've lost a house, we've lost a loved one, we've lost a relationship because it just didn't work out. I know that many of us have been in situations, especially in the last few years with the economy going up and down, where we have lost our way. Some of us lost our jobs. Some of us lost our savings. Some of us lost everything that we had. And we look at things and say, how? Why me? Well, I'm here to tell you, when I heard Liliana's story, I thought about myself, and I thought about the times that I sat back and just wondered, why me? Why me? Why has this happened to me? And hearing her story, I said, how do you dare? How could you dare think that you cannot overcome anything that is put in your way? Here's a lady who had a touch with death, and she's now standing in front of you, telling her story and encouraging people to do whatever's necessary to be the best that they can be. So I say to you, I cannot ever complain about my situation. I have to pull myself up by my bootstraps and do whatever's necessary to move it to the next level. And I challenge each and every one of you to dig deep inside of yourselves, to find that intestinal fortitude, to find the courage, make the commitment, find the confidence to change your world, to change your life, to change your thinking, transform your performance from good to great. Stop settling for average and strive for outstanding. Because in each and every one of you, just like me, just like Liliana, just like Rick, just like that little girl next door who learned to ride the two-wheel bike, who now rides up and down the street with the big kids in our neighborhood. Only you can unlock the door to your dreams. Thank you for your time. I'm Velton Shaw. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.